What is up, homies? Welcome to the first episode of the Chexicans podcast on Heroes Reforged. I already know that a lot of people are going to be confused because there are people who are new to this channel who've never seen us before and have never seen us three in a room together. And when we told people that we were going to be doing a podcast, the amount of people that were confused when I said we're going to do it in the same room, they were like, can you add the windows back in?
Yeah.
So we can see you guys in boxes? And I'm like, no, I'm tired of that bullshit.
I'm sure somebody can Photoshop that. I like to touch. So I touch my friends.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
this is so good.
We're all vaccinated.
Oh, my God. This is going to get so much use. I'm so excited about this. We also have a celebratory beer, which I think we should just open.
I think we need to open and cheers, you guys.
Cheers.
Just don't get on any of the gear, please.
To the podcast. Oops.
Almost 2 years gone. And
That's crazy.
Here's to another, 7 years of doing YouTube stuff?
Another
Cheers,
7
guys.
years of marriage.
It feels good. It feels good.
Look at him. Tingles the jingles, doesn't
Get a little
it?
taste of the glory.
I'm a thirsty boy. This is my first beer.
Ever?
My first beer I've ever had.
It's good. It's good. Drink.
Crushing it. You're crushing it, baby.
It's so good. As soon as it hits your lips, it's so good.
Pills are good.
Water tastes good. So for people who are new here, and if you're listening on the audio version, I recommend jumping over to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/heroesreforged. We're going to be doing this once a month, and then we're going to be doing a bonus episode 2 weeks after this that will be for patrons only, and we're going to be answering questions. So a lot of people are asking, what's the frequency of the podcast? We're going to start doing it once a month, and then if there's a lot of demand for it, we'll do it more often.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we didn't want to overwhelm ourselves with how many episodes we wanted to do. We could do one a week, but we want to start out. We want to be a little bit more realistic.
Like Adam was saying too, we used to do a weekly show.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we just didn't want to fall back into doing that same thing and the same stuff in that same type of a show.
Yeah.
Also, we didn't want to be the news guys. Like that's a big thing.
That's not us.
That's a big
us.
change.
Yeah, and that was a big thing that we talked about was we liked talking about that stuff, but I think it felt too much like homework.
Yeah,
And
it
I
really
think
did.
I think what we really
we had
wanted
to be so current to it's like we wanted to make stuff that's a little more evergreen.
Goosey, baby.
Evergreen, as they say.
little
Also,
key word. Yeah.
Adam said to head over to the YouTube if you are listening to the audio version.
Yeah.
I
love you.
Be warned, we're very sexy.
Yeah.
So if you're
Extremely handsome.
If you're driving,
if you're in a committed relationship, that's what I'm saying, and you don't want to get in trouble, then stick
Go
to the
audio only.
Go audio. You can't get in
true.
trouble.
But I don't know if you've heard, Hector is funny, so there's a lot of visual gags happening.
Oh. I mean,
oh my God.
Bingo. Right there, right there. But I guess we should clarify that we will be talking superhero stuff.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Feel free in the questions section if you ever want to shoot us questions, or for the patrons, ask us anything. We're down to talk about
this
anything.
is the place to do it. People constantly will tweet at me about anime,
Right.
Questions about like the hot Netflix show, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
We wanted to let ourselves have the freedom of we'll talk about whatever we want.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
We went on a trip together 3 years ago, and we never really got a chance to talk about that trip.
No one ever heard about the train story, which we might talk about.
So I think that was the thing that I think excited us was the fact that we could have some time for ourselves where we could just shoot the shit.
Yeah,
because we never really had that when we did other stuff.
No.
Everything that we did, it was very particular. It was like a review of a movie, a trailer reaction, a news article.
You know what I just realized, guys? That this show is basically what we do
when we're not recording?
For 10 minutes before we record.
Exactly.
And 20 minutes after.
Exactly.
Where we're just catching up with each other, we vamp, and now we get to sort of share that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because those are some of my most fondest
That's
memories.
the best time.
I know.
We come up with all our inside jokes, and then we actually shoot a reaction, and then we'll say the joke, and it's like nobody knows.
Nobody knows how
gets the
funny we are.
context.
Nobody knows how funny we are.
I'm just waiting for his hands to move over.
Yeah.
And we have a new soundboard too, so Hector's
Yeah.
going to be on that
It'd be
shit.
pretty great.
Most of the jokes are going to go that way, yes.
And it's going to be an evolutionary thing. Like this is the first time we're doing it. This is the first time we're doing this tech setup.
Yeah.
We have like 3 different ways that we're recording everything in case one of these things fucks up. So we wanted to make sure that like, okay, when we record something, we'll actually have something that's usable.
Yeah.
Adam said our first F-bomb.
Oh, are we
spaghettios.
drinking on F-bombs?
I
Is
guess
that the
we
new
are
thing
now.
This is for adults only.
Beers, F-bombs. You guys have been here. You get it.
You know what's
That's what we
happening.
do.
You know what it is. I love how you match the can, by the way.
Yeah.
Anyone
much on
listening
purpose.
doesn't know, but you should definitely.
I actually do. Pink, orange, yellow, black.
Blue on like a white
Blue?
backdrop.
Yeah, look at you.
Dude, I did it on purpose.
That's
Yeah.
just
kidding.
But yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people are asking like, when are you going to do this podcast finally? It took us a while to put it together, but honestly, because of the pandemic and because we like didn't have a shooting space at first, we kept trying to figure out where would we do it? How would we do it? We talked about doing in your garage, I don't have a garage because I'm the one person who doesn't own a home or have a home. Well, I do now. I do now.
Have a home?
Well, I have a home.
You're not living on the streets.
You're right.
Jesus.
You're right.
Yeah, he's
But
living in a park.
Yes,
living in a
homeowner.
box in a park. That's where Adam
He's
is.
living under the 101.
Don't
free,
tell people because they're
underpass.
going to look for me. It's going to be weird. But yeah, so we were able to get this really cool set up. This is your guys' office.
Yeah, definitely.
Did some lighting, and it's just been a lot of like testing and figuring out like what we like. And I don't know. I really like the space.
Yeah,
I'm
I
excited.
think it works. It's tiny.
It's okay.
But what do you
But
think, Hector? This is your first time being
I know.
here.
I
know.
love it, dude. It's intimate,
Okay.
and I like it that I can touch. We can touch each other. But like for the audio listeners only, the backdrop is like really cool and really fun, but it's not overloaded.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at stuff. I was pointing stuff out, and I'm like, all of our favorite shit is here. We've got this great Superman statue. The Ninja Turtles are up there.
My big ass is covering most of it.
We've got Wolverine here behind Adam. Both Wolverines, which is really cool. We got a little Wolverine, a bigger Wolverine. We have
some Spider-Man bubbles.
Spider-Man bubbles.
Yeah.
some
I
booblies.
was like, what is that? A shampoo?
Is that from
snap.
like years ago when we did our announcement of Spider-Man coming to the MCU?
Straight up, that's bubbles.
No, I was given this on my birthday by a coworker.
Wow.
Thank you, Road.
Bubbles are fun.
It's a good accessory.
yeah.
I guess before we get into some of the other stuff, we do have a Patreon. We mentioned a little bit earlier, patreon.com/Heroes Reforged. Anybody who's in the hero tier, which is our $10 tier, can submit questions. And we've talked about maybe dabbling and maybe adding some tiers or adding some more like possibilities for people to interact with the show. But that gives you the opportunity to ask questions. And like we said, we're going to do a Patreon exclusive episode as well, where we'll answer a ton more questions. You can submit them on the Patreon post that we'll be putting on there. Or we have a Discord as well. The link is down in the description for that.
Oh, it's so great.
And you can go directly to the Discord. And if you link your Patreon account to the Discord, you'll get access to special channels where you'll be able to put in questions. And we had a few people do that this week, which is really cool. It's a nice way for us to just kind of like keep everything organized and structured, because doing it by email or whatever is like, I already deal with too many emails.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
a
want
lot
to
of
deal
emails.
with it anymore.
The other thing we have to touch on is that dope merch that Hector has on.
Hector's the only person who got a shirt. And what I mean by that is we ordered a ton, but none of them have come in yet except for that one.
This one is the first to arrive. It's
That's
crazy.
right.
But, it's awesome. Can I say it's the most comfortable fucking shirt I've ever had
Really?
in my life?
Well, that makes me happy.
It's so good on my skin.
That's what you get
That it
when
makes
you
your
order our
nipples
merch.
hard?
that I'm like, should I be paying more? Is how good it is.
I think you're right.
Anyway, I think
it's-
I'm pretty good at selling T-shirts.
Yeah, I think it's right.
But it honestly
even if
looks
your
great.
nipples were hard, it wouldn't chafe them.
No, it wouldn't.
Right,
It's
because
like
it's
little
that comfortable.
pillows.
Worst case scenario, you put a little Band-Aid over him and it'll be nice and smooth.
There's like a
No, that doesn't
built-in
happen with the
Band-Aid.
Heroes
It's like
Reforged merch.
That's right.
Exactly. It's like a built-in Band-Aid.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Super nice.
We don't George Clooney our shirts.
Anyway, it looks great. It makes me look buff.
Hell yeah, dude.
It's really nice color, really comfy.
Okay, speaking
And
of
it's
looking
great.
buff, Hector, you looked good in that picture at the Eternals screening.
Look at this guy. This guy's so good
I'm
at
the best.
segues.
It's like we've been doing
like,
this.
Nope. I mean, it's like, come on.
There it is.
It's like that.
This guy with
I
the
saw the
segues.
picture of you and your partner, and you guys looked 1,000. The Obama
you.
power couple.
You look hotter than hot.
Of
You look
that
hot,
red
hot, hot.
carpet. Of that red carpet, Hector.
It was blue.
Oh, blue.
Whatever it was. It was cool. It
Did
was
you
my
see any
first-
it was at
celebrity?
least.
I know it was your first one.
I did. We were walking up and we saw Martin Starr from
Nice.
Silicon Valley,
Yeah.
as well as the Spider-Man Marvel movies,
Yep.
as well as the Incredible Hulk
Yep.
and Freaks and Geeks.
Yep.
And he was walking with, I think, his wife, but he was with somebody. And it was like, oh shit, that's Martin Starr. And like he got in line like everybody else or whatever to get their, to get access to the thing.
Yeah.
And then when you get in there, I've never been to a Marvel movie premiere.
Yeah.
But I got in, and then I was with my group. We weren't sitting together in the theater, but we still came in together. So we were kind of, and it's some crew from the Nerdist website, which is why I was there.
Yeah.
And just some friends and stuff. And then my +1, who's Abby, which is great that she was able to come. Because sometimes she hasn't been able to.
She's busy.
I know.
She's super duper busy.
But anyway, you get in there, and then there's like, it's almost like this little walkway that you have to go on, and then it's off to the right, and to the left is like the real like red carpet with everybody set up. People can stop and talk to people. Marvel has their setup, the little big rotating thing or whatever.
Yeah.
All the different outlets are there, and so when we're walking off to the side, kind of roped off, you still look over, and it's like, 5 feet away from you, it's like, oh my God, there's Angelina Jolie.
Oh, you saw her then. Okay.
I would have died.
Let me tell you, Abby was the one who was like, she looks so good. Some people you see in real life and you go, you look so good. I had the same thing happen with years ago when I was working a job, and one of the clients at the job was Bernice Marlowe, who's in the movie Skyfall. She's one of the Bond girls in Skyfall.
Oh, okay.
Just the type of person that you see in the real life, and you go, you're too beautiful. It doesn't make sense. Like, you're like, how are you? You're not even real.
Impossibly beautiful.
Impossibly good looking. And you go, oh, that's why you're a movie star. Like, right. But even Kumail, who, Selma Hayek has said he was like a funny goofball guy. Even him,
Mr. Guac Talks himself.
Guac Talks from Portlandia. Yeah. But even he had this beautiful, I don't know what the appropriate term is, suit that he was wearing. That was like, dude, I bet you he made his dad so proud with what he was wearing. It was like culturally significant. He looked.
Was it
so
one of those
good.
long shirts, like a very that goes down to the thigh? Remember, I was telling you, I was like,
Yeah.
dude, Indian dudes look so good in those types of shirts. Yeah, it was a good outfit.
Amazing. I mean, everybody looked great after the fact. I saw everybody in their different outfits. All the main actors, I guess, from the movie, like Brian Tyree Henry looked great because I saw pictures and video after. But while I was there, seeing in person, seeing Kumail, seeing his wife, and I'm like, even them two are quote unquote normal. They're like us, they're normal goofball, really talented people. But like, even Kumail and his wife, I'm like, they're so glamorous now. Like,
So I mean, that's what happens when you have like Hollywood people.
Yeah.
And they can dress you up kind of.
But I also think that like Kumail was just on cloud 9.
Oh yeah.
Like just
come on,
dude. His energy is just so it was super cool to see that stuff. We didn't go all the way down to one end of the red carpet in Hollywood Boulevard that they had roped off. I guess had the costume set up, which is pretty cool. But basically we were also stupid, and like the movie was supposed to start at 6:30 and it was like 6:22, and I'm over here like, should we? But then Angelina Jolie's like there. Yeah. And I'm like, oh.
No.
If she's not there, I don't have to worry about it.
It always starts late at these things.
Yeah, of course.
But I still, like, our group still
he was like trailers. They're not a part of the screening.
Hector was like starting to scream at everybody. Guys, we gotta, Angelina. Angie, come on,
Angie, we gotta see the trailer for Spider-Man. Come on.
You're late, bro. Kumail, come on. Kumail, stop talking to people.
So we still went in early and like sat down, and then they put your phones in those little, remember those little slips,
the Dave
or whatever.
Chappelle packs,
those little packs, and we sat down, and since I didn't have my phone, I was like, I have no idea what time it is. Yeah. And it took a while to start it, but
then they do the intro and they bring the cast out, right?
No, they did that.
Oh, they did outside?
They did it outside, but they showed it on the screen, like on the screen of the movie theater in the Dolby theater. They were just live streaming the
you got to go in the Dolby theater.
It was nice.
I've never been in the Dolby theater.
Never been in that one.
It was nice. It was really nice.
Damn, dude.
Surprisingly big in there.
So who did you sit next to?
I don't know. No, we're just up in the little corner. There's no, I couldn't see. Abby and I were like, we assume the celebrities are up on the balcony, like roped off from everybody, because all of the press people were just down here.
Oh,
so I could just see all of our colleagues just, there's Danny Fernandez, and there's, all these different people that are there.
Shout out to Danny Fernandez, by the way.
All the people from like Collider and IGN, all those different outlets. Yeah. But not Variety, because that dude sucks. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But maybe he got in trouble. Anyway.
So we will get a review of that movie later.
Sure. Ooh.
Can we get a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
Oh,
that's
nailed
the only review that we need.
Nailed it.
I was certain you were going to hit the wrong button.
Hey, I went and saw Venom 2.
Crickets.
Digital crickets. Yeah.
Digital crickets. Yeah. I went and saw Venom 2.
You know, I was actually really surprised. I thought the comments were going to be destructive in that video. A lot of people were like, yeah, I agree. It's a really bad movie. And I was like, oh, okay. We're not alone on that.
Right.
I know. I mean, again,
Not that I'm happy about that.
I think we're three pretty agreeable dudes.
Yeah.
And we're pretty easy to please. So I noticed some of the comments were like, I like when you guys don't like stuff because it proves that you just don't like everything.
Right.
Right.
Which means we're mostly positive.
Yeah.
You know?
True.
And I think we stated our case.
I think so. I think part of the reason why our critiques work is that we're not out just to shit on stuff.
No.
Like I
would never want to watch movies to be like, I hope this blows.
I don't want to watch a bad movie.
Yeah.
Like that's the worst way that I can think of spending my time.
Oh my God, what a waste.
And I like the way we approach it, and I think it's been our approach from the very beginning.
Yeah.
I think that's why it gels so well, everything we've done
Trying to get
so
a
far.
motherfucking scholarship.
That's right, baby. That's right. Is there anything else, Hector, that you can tell us about that night? Like not necessarily the movie, but like
Did you talk to Kevin?
how did it
pitch your,
how did it
pitch
feel
MCU Phase
being
5?
at a
was
world
cool.
live event of Marvel?
It was cool. There was a real little electric energy there on because they block off Hollywood Boulevard right in front of the El Cap.
Right.
And for a second when they gave us our ticket, I was like, wait, is this at the El Cap? And then my buddy who
Is
works
this where
at,
the scrubs go?
yeah, I'm like, are they separate? So, but my friend who works at Nerdist, he goes, no, this whole event is being run by the same people that do events at the El Capitan.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of Disney Marvel, like it's all sort of connected.
Yeah.
But the screening is at the Dolby. And then he was telling me, but I have been to other screenings where they do have
Both.
separate screen, like they utilize like that theater and that.
I think
theater
The Rise of Skywalker had that where they had one screening at Dolby and the other one at the El Cap.
You know what? When I went to the Justice League first theatrical release, that's what they had. They had it at two different theaters, and I ended up going.
Yep.
Actually, ended up going to the one where Henry Cavill was at.
Whoa.
That was pretty cool. And then a bunch of other people went across the street.
Whoa,
I don't even know where I saw Justice League.
Yeah,
I think
Did we go together?
I saw
No,
it
we
in the
didn't.
theater.
I went by myself.
Yeah, I don't-
I remember going by myself.
I saw it in an AMC and I did not like it. And I was sad.
I was very
It was a sad
confused
day.
when I left that theater. I was like, because I was super hyped that
What
day.
movie did I watch?
Yeah.
Super duper
Yeah.
hyped that day. I took
big deal.
pictures. I had a Justice League like lanyard on at
Yeah.
work. I was so pumped. And
then the movie happened.
And then the movie happened, and I didn't know how to feel immediately after because I was like, did I get what I wanted? I don't know if I got what I wanted.
That's
like,
how I felt. I was like, I like some of this.
There was
shit.
some of it that was cool, but
Yeah.
then they made me forget about the stuff that wasn't cool.
Let
and
me
then
tell ya,
upon rewatches is when it happened.
The lesson learned is you can't do a course correct in the middle of a movie.
No.
Like you have
Right.
to play that out.
Right.
You hired the people, you hired the writers, you hired the directors.
Yeah.
If you wish you hadn't,
Yeah.
too bad you did.
Yeah.
Right.
Finish it out. And then, later you can do I mean, that's a whole thing, but it's
I mean,
just like,
if we're gonna start episode 1 off that, we're gonna lose subs
spicy
real quick.
meatball. Spicy meatball.
I just,
We'll save that for the last episode
I
of this
know.
podcast
Ever.
ever.
I
Yeah.
have thoughts. I have thoughts.
Should we talk about how we met?
Yeah. Also,
Oh,
we should,
are we gonna
in case people are this far into it and they don't know what Chexicans means.
Oh yeah.
We do need to talk about that.
Yeah, we
name.
do.
Right.
So
Please.
I'm Mexican.
I'm Mexican.
I'm Czech.
There you go.
Hey, okay. I was waiting for the womp womp womp.
No, we don't womp our ethnicities. Come on, man. We
awesome.
celebrate that shit. Yeah.
No. People are going to be really confused right now because they're like, "What?
Yeah.
I thought you were Mexican."
A lot of people think you're Mexican.
Honorary Mexican.
Honorary Mexican. I have to
That's right.
explain to everybody who I meet that watches our show that no, Adam is not Mexican.
We look alike. We are part of the multiverse.
Right.
But that
Right.
just means everybody around the world looks the same, dude. That's all it means. That's
You
all
were
it means.
just on with the Wagner's podcast. The Wagners. Is it the
Wangers?
Wangers. The
Wanger
Wangers
show?
podcast.
Yeah.
And y'all look exactly the
I
same.
know. Because just like this show, I was Czech and they're Mexican. Great.
The Wangers.
Nice.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Wagners. I can't read clearly. Yeah.
Shout out
So
to Christian.
so I guess that's really it. Like I guess we chose. I actually chose. I wanted this name because I wanted the show to be different from all the other stuff that we were doing as
Yeah.
well. Because I don't necessarily just always want to talk about superhero
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
I
or
want to talk
movies.
about
Or conversational
movies or
stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever
Yeah.
the F we want to
Yeah.
talk about. This is a playground, a playground for everybody. You like that, huh? You like that?
I like
Chexicans, a playground
Hector-
for everyone.
If Hector, you wanna play some improv games, we got you, boo boo. We'll be your partners. You want to pitch some ideas? Hector's pitch corner. We'll have you
yeah.
do a little
Pitch quest.
speedball session over here where you just talk about quickly everything that was in DC fandom.
if you want.
Yeah.
I got a list. Yeah, for
Everything.
sure. Yeah, I love that.
But the way that we met,
Yeah.
it's been 11 years now. Well,
since
11
we
years since
met
I
you.
met you, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you two have known each other even longer.
So technically, yes, Hector, I've known
for 15 years, right?
2006.
2006 somewhere around
15
there.
years.
Yeah,
Jesus
about
Christ.
15 years. It's been a long time.
You were at our college a little bit before I was, right?
Yes, I think I started
Like
a
a year
year
before?
a year before you.
So you started in 05.
No, I actually started in 04.
04, yeah.
Yeah,
still in high
I'm
school.
old.
And
I'm fucking old.
I came in 06. I went from
Yeah.
06 to 09.
Yeah.
And you graduated what? 08, 07?
08, I think.
08?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Augustine and I met in college
Yep.
and hit it off.
No, we didn't.
We didn't?
We didn't hit it off.
That's not true. We were friendly.
We were friendly. Okay,
Yeah.
so the way I met
love
you
this
was
controversy.
in what's her name? The acting teacher's class.
Yeah, Deb.
Deb. Yeah.
Deb.
So there was an
Deb.
acting class, and it's the perfect way to meet Hector because it was an improv. It was an acting for animation class.
Yes.
Okay.
And so
Yes.
she had us basically, it was just an improv class. She just had us do a bunch of improv stuff. And it was me, you, and another dude. I forgot who the other dude was in our group. And we did an improv thingy.
Jonathan?
I don't remember.
Majors?
That sounds very familiar,
Jonathan?
though. That sounds very familiar. And
Jonathan Goldstein?
no,
The writer of Spider-Man Homecoming?
I don't know. Yeah, it was Jonathan.
no,
John
it was
Daly?
another. Jonathan sounds familiar, but that's just like the most generic name.
Yeah.
So we did an improv thingy, and that's the only class we had together. And I was like, oh, I need to be friends with this guy. Class ended. We only saw each other in the hallways and we
Yeah.
just said hi. And then I moved away from San Diego.
Yeah.
You stayed in San Diego.
Yeah.
But got a job
Yeah.
in VFX
Yeah.
at Legend
Yeah.
in 2009, 2010.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Okay.
2000. I feel like pretty much a few months after I graduated, I remember because I graduated college, went to work for my dad for
Yeah.
2 months, was like, this sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout out to my dad. But I was like,
Congratulations on your getting
Yeah.
married.
I don't want to do this. Yeah, he just got married. I don't want to do this. And was able to get, it felt like in on the ground floor,
You did.
you know, at Legend. Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
hired me. Well, you
Yep.
gave me my 3D test.
Yep.
And little did I know that you were also kind of like screening people to get hired.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
you were on the front end of like,
Oh,
well, I
yeah.
know this guy and I
Yep.
don't know this guy or
Let me
this guy
tell you,
sucks.
there's only one person who I recall
We're going to bleep this name out. Is there a
being
bleep
like,
button?
Yeah,
I wish.
Can,
There's a
just,
mute button.
this motherfucker right here. But there's only one guy.
this
that-
magical
that I-
dickwad.
You're right. I was, I was in my early 20s. We were young,
Yeah.
but I was still asked by my bosses to be like, Hector, if you have input because these people went to your college, if
Right.
you know them, like, let us know. And I never felt comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Until one guy came in, and I was like, oh, actually, I do have a story about him.
This guy sucks.
And I think he passed the test and like would have been hired. And the other thing too is he was super friendly to me. And in college he was
Look, you're a
always
nice
friendly
guy.
to
You're
me.
a nice, agreeable guy. So, yeah.
And in college he was always nice to me. But the thing is that I remembered an interaction that he had with somebody else that you know what I mean? So it's like, there's a lesson. Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Because even if he was nice to me, I still witnessed something
Yeah.
that then I told my bosses, I was like, look, he may be good at this, but truthfully, this is what happened at college.
This dude sucks.
Yeah. In case people are curious, I'll tell you what the incident was, is that he was like talking back major to one of our teachers in a class, like one of our professors, because they had differing political ideologies. And like, he was incredibly disrespectful to this teacher. And I can't remember how it was even resolved, but I think I remember like the teacher being like, you need to leave, like something like that.
Interesting.
And it's weird because it's like you're in college and they're all college students.
Right.
So how can you tell somebody? The only other time that happened was when I was in a life drawing class and we had nude models and somebody left. Do you remember that? Were you in that class?
I think I was in that class.
And some poor kid like left because he had a phone call or something in the middle of the class, and you're not supposed to do that because you're not supposed to open the door.
Because there's a naked person in the room.
And it's not even like people could really see,
Yeah.
but the policy is if you leave, you can't come back in.
Right.
For an emergency or whatever, you have to wait until the break.
Yeah.
When the
Model's
model
covered. The
model is
puts the
robed.
robe
Yes.
back on and for 15 minutes or whatever, and then so this poor kid like left. And then the door locked behind him, and he was like opening the door and knocking, and the teacher had to come over and be like, "You have to leave."
Yeah.
And I'm like, I remember being like, "Oh shit, I don't think he was here for orientation. Like, I don't even know if he knew."
Oh
no.
Or
that wasn't a thing. Yeah.
Or if he did, maybe he messed up and forgot. Like, I
Yeah.
just felt so bad. But
Yeah.
Oh, man.
anyway, that's what happened. Told my coworkers, and I was nervous about it, but they were like, "Okay, great, we won't hire him." And I was like, "Really?" Like, just that easy? They're
Welcome
like,
to
"Yes,
grown-up
Hector."
world.
They're like, "We
Yeah.
trust your judgment."
Yeah.
That's good. So
Yeah.
so you came in and you tested, and we hired you.
I did okay.
You were
and then
in there early.
I think I was like the 60th person at that company.
Jesus,
Yeah.
really?
I feel like I
Wow.
was like the 40th or something. Like
You probably
like
were.
30 or 40,
Yeah.
somewhere in there.
Because I had other friends who worked there, and they were all like, "Yeah, I just got hired here. I was like the 25th person hired,"
Yeah.
and I was just like,
Sweet
"Wow,
Jesus.
this just got going."
Wow.
And so I got the job.
Yeah.
Um,
And then Adam, when did you come in?
My first day was my 23rd birthday.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
baby,
really?
little
That's
baby.
a special day.
Yeah, 23rd
cool.
birthday.
Right on. Right on.
Yeah, first. I don't know why my birthday ended up being my first day, but I went and I did the training, the testing, and that was like a 5-day process or something.
Yeah.
And then I went home on Thursday or Friday, and they called me within 5 hours, and they were like, "Can you start on Monday?" And I was like, "Okay."
Wow.
Monday was my birthday or Tuesday or something, so it was like basically like immediately started.
Happy
Wow.
birthday!
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What a birthday present.
I know.
That's cool.
All that to say, we are all ex VFX artists
Yeah.
because there was people
Yeah.
who were asking in the comments. They were like, "Wait, you guys worked on movies?" Yeah,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
I worked on the first like 10 years of Marvel. How much?
Yeah,
How
yeah.
how many years did you guys?
I got hired. No, actually, we were all at Legend 3D.
Yes,
2 years later, we got let go because they ran out of work, and that's how it
I
goes.
left before I
left.
got let go.
And I
You
stayed
you
until
were
I
the
got let
first
go.
batch of
I
people. I
was.
remember the day you got laid off.
Yeah, it sucked.
That sucked big time.
It wasn't the worst thing in the world, so I'm fine.
No.
But it was like that was and it wasn't even like it hit me really hard. I was
Right.
like I was fine.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was still like, oh, I'm in my early 20s. I got to go on unemployment. I have to,
Right.
I have to
Right,
go
right,
look for another
I
job
think
or
that was
whatever.
the first time actually no, because I left and I went straight to Stereo D. So
Yeah,
no.
yeah. I stuck around for a little bit
Yeah,
before before
Yeah.
going up to Stereo D.
That was when the stress of and the reality of being a VFX artist hit me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I remember the
Yeah,
fear that went through that office the
Yeah.
day that happened.
Yeah.
I know you were gone, Hector, but for like weeks and months afterwards,
Yeah.
every day felt like your last day of work.
It sucks,
Yeah.
man.
Because eventually we got put on four
days
day
a
work
week.
weeks.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And we were on like half unemployment.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And so like
I
it
remember
was
when I got let go, I came back to my desk and people were already putting stuff in a box from
Yeah.
my desk.
Yeah.
And I was very calm and I was like, okay, well, I need to go around and collect. I have some other toys at some friends' desks. And they're like, you have to leave. You have to leave. And I was like, no. I was like very calm. I'm like, it's
Yeah.
fine. I'm fired. Don't
Right,
worry.
right.
But like,
Not
I
gonna
gotta
hurt
go.
anybody.
I want my
Yeah.
stuff.
I'm not gonna.
I'm not gonna do what
I'm
you
not
all
gonna-
think I'm gonna do and flip out, man.
So I was like, cool. But like, I got to go grab my toy.
Yeah,
And
these
he's
are
like,
important to me.
And
Yeah.
and these HR people were like, "You what? You
Yeah.
can't." Like,
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, it's fine. I'm fired, and I will go to the elevator. Don't worry." But it was weird. It's weird
Yeah.
to
It's so weird, man.
when the first time you get let go is weird. The same way the first time you get into like a car accident, a fender bender, hopefully, and it's not like super damaging or whatever, but just like bumping somebody even in exchanging like insurance information as
Yeah.
a young person. All
Yeah.
of those first are like
Nervous.
Yeah.
weird because
It's weird,
They're
yeah.
things that so many people go through.
Right.
But when you're a kid, when you're young, and it happens.
and
to
it
you the
happens
first
to
time,
you, it's weird.
it is weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, we ended up all working again at Stereo D in Los Angeles.
Yep.
Because Legend was in San Diego.
Yeah.
So now we're at Stereo D. These are the people that have pretty much, I think, kind of taken over. They're like the number one game in town, kind of a thing.
At
But
that
then-
point, they were
At
the
that point, they
number
were.
one 3D conversion house in
yeah.
Hollywood. Yeah.
But I came in 2011, started working on Avengers, and I worked through Iron Man 3 and some of Thor: The Dark World, and then left and did
Yeah.
movies in between, including some Jurassic Park, the first movie,
Right.
little Star Trek Into Darkness, whatever else
Pacific
shit
Rim.
we had. Pacific Rim. I think I did a couple of that. And
Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
I was about to say Abraham Lincoln.
G.I. Joe. Did you do G.I. Joe? You didn't do G.I. Joe, did you?
Retaliation? I don't think so.
No.
R.I.P.D.
No.
R.I.P.D.
Yeah,
You did do R.I.P.D.
I think so.
Yeah.
What about Need for Speed and John Carter?
No, I did John Carter though.
John Carter, yeah.
did
I worked on
I
John Carter.
touched
Your
like
favorite
a shot
movie
or two.
You know what? We're gonna
Yeah.
change the name of this show from Chexicans to
Hector
Three
Carter
Guys
of
Talk
Mars.
About John Carter of Mars.
That movie's so good.
It is.
Scrap the name.
Next, next year's a 10th year anniversary.
Well, that means we have to do it up big.
We got.
What are we gonna do?
Now's the time for Disney Plus to do a sequel. Bring back Taylor Kitsch. Bring back Willem Dafoe. Bring back Lynn Collins as
Okay.
Princess Deja Thoris, and do the story that takes place 10 years later. Because you know what? That's what happens in the books. He comes
Okay.
back to Mars 10 years
You got
later.
real street on that one.
And he's
Yeah.
got a
What's happening in the books, fool?
10-year-old
That's passion.
kid. I love it. His son
Yeah.
was born from an egg. Those books are stupid, dude. I love them. So
Whichever
bad.
button.
The worst one. His son was
but it's
born
also
from an egg.
It's also the perfect time to premiere Disney Plus 3D.
Yeah.
Right?
Guys, how long have we been doing this episode and we now mentioned 3D?
So we're gonna scrap the previous
30
name.
minutes.
We're gonna
Take a shot.
call this
3D
podcast.
3D minutes, baby.
3D minutes?
We're gonna call this podcast Three Guys Talk About
Yeah,
3D
3D.
for an hour.
Oh man. Yeah, when I was at Stereo D, because I came in October, I think it was October 2011. I did a really bad thing. I don't recommend anyone do this. I went to go do the test for like 2-3 days.
Yeah.
And I told Legend that I was sick.
Yeah.
So I went, I did the test. Then on like Friday, they called me at like Friday after work hours. They're like, "Can you start on Monday?" And I was like, "Oh God." So I called
yeah.
Legend and like I couldn't get a hold of anybody. Or no, I actually did get a hold of someone and I was like, "Hey, I'm not coming back on Monday."
I have to
Or
quit.
ever.
Quit. Yeah.
Whoa.
And I was
Yeah.
like, "Sorry, I'm not trying to burn a bridge here." They're like, "Well, you did." And I'm like, "Okay, well,
Bye.
too bad. Bye." Click.
But didn't you later work at Legend after?
No,
he
I did.
Oh, you
I went
did.
back.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so no bridge was burned. Who cares?
No,
Yeah.
no, none at all.
Listen, if they
I cared
wanted
about the
you-
people, not so
Yeah.
much everybody else.
Yeah, the corp, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
the-
how it
the-
always
the-
was.
yeah.
I want to say too, like it was at times a real tough job.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
the most tough thing about it was the hours.
Yeah.
Oh
it
my
was
God, yeah.
grueling sometimes
Yeah.
going into crunch mode.
And having a quota.
Yeah,
That
it
was the
tough.
worst part, man.
It was tough.
Yeah.
Some of the work was difficult, and there was a lot of like problem solving of,
Yeah.
of this kind of new emerging technology,
Yeah.
which was difficult. But I will say, there was still elements of it that were glamorous. We had
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg visit the studio. I didn't see him. But
Guillermo
just
del
like
Toro
get him a,
visited.
when some
What?
of those
Yeah.
when some
When
of
you
those
guys worked on Pacific
directors
Rim?
Yeah.
when some of those directors like showed up, it was like not
Yeah.
Michael Bay. I don't give a shit about him, but
Yeah.
like some of the directors. I think that was at Legend.
I was at
Bay
Legend.
showed
Yeah,
up.
Michael Bay.
That was when we were working on Dark of
sucks.
the Moon. And he didn't even come by to see us.
No.
Yeah.
He came by because he was on his way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and he
Oh my
also
God.
and he rounded us up and told us basically he would have preferred to shoot it in 3D, but I guess I'll let you guys convert it. Like,
and on top of that, he
this
was
guy.
like, "Yeah, I want to come and say thank you, but I don't want to waste too much time because money." And I was like, "All right."
Yeah, he sucks. That guy sucks. Straight up sucks.
but I mean, the job. I'm glad to say that at least we have our fingerprints on the
Yeah.
first 10 years of the MCU.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
You know?
sure.
I don't have a
That's
credit in
special
any
thing.
single movie.
It doesn't
but-
matter. You got to work on it.
No, I
you
know.
got
That's
true.
You got spoilers when you went into dailies.
Yeah.
Like it was honestly, it was a special time.
And I was actually just talking about that on the Wanger show yesterday because they were like, we were talking about
Wagners?
the Wagners. We were talking about the MCU and we were talking about VFX, and I was like, yeah, man, it was weird because we started doing YouTube while we were working on Age of Ultron and Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Maybe like right before that too.
Yeah.
We were working on
Yeah.
Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
And it was weird because like no one said anything to us about
Right.
doing a YouTube channel where we talked about this
And we
stuff.
were kind of worried about it.
yeah,
But
and
you
we
guys,
and we had to be
weren't
like,
doing spoilers.
No,
or anything.
no.
I remember you gave me one spoiler as your friend because at that point I wasn't working there anymore.
yeah.
Did I warn you?
And you, yes, but
Was it about Mew Mew?
I asked for it.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
I asked for
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Because you guys were working on Avengers Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
And I was out of the industry at that point.
Yeah.
But I was like, dude, you guys were doing Avengers too. Like, what, like, tell me about it. And you were
What
like,
it is it?
And you were like, I
Yeah.
just saw one thing that was really, you were pissed that you saw it.
I was mad.
Yeah.
You were mad
It's
that you
a
saw
big spoiler, dude.
Yeah.
Vision holding the hammer.
Right.
Yeah.
Holding Mjolnir.
Yeah.
And
I just want to
Yeah.
tell you, you swung your arm and you almost knocked that
oh,
over.
I know where it is.
Okay, cool.
I know where my beer is.
He went like this, and I went, "Oh God!"
I got it.
Jesus.
But that
Day
was
one.
that was
Yeah.
fun that you guys told me
Yeah.
that detail like a year before the movie came
Yeah.
out. Like he's
Right,
gonna pick
right,
up
right.
Mjolnir, and I was like, oh shit, that's perfect. That's great.
But we have to
vision.
go.
But
Yeah.
you were mad because you saw it in dailies one day.
Well, you
huge
stopped going to
spoilers.
dailies after that.
After that, I
Yeah.
and maybe that's why I got fired. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, I didn't get fired.
no. Well, the reason. Well, did you leave before I did?
I left before you did because
Yeah.
the company was going to Canada.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yep.
The
And
Great Big
so
North.
I was like, you know what?
So long,
I'm
eh?
not
C'est la
going to
vie.
Canada.
Yeah.
I got my homies here in LA. I just started dating my now wife.
Yeah.
Your family's in
My
California.
family is all here.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't
It's-
gonna
it
go
was-
to- and
that was
the,
a big-
the
that
deal
was a
they were
tough-
giving us was booty, man.
It was
Just
tough.
straight
Hit the button.
garbage.
Hit the button.
It was tough.
That
real
was the
booty
deal.
deal.
Yeah.
That was the
Yeah,
deal
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
And we had a lot of friends who went.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and have been living there either since or they
Yeah.
lived there for years.
Or they've gone back and
it
forth.
was tough, man.
I knew that I wasn't going when I said, "Oh, I will consider it if you give me more money."
Right.
Yeah.
And they
said
never
no.
responded to my email.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah.
For
I'm not
sure.
going.
Definitely. That was a rough time.
Visual effects industry is tough.
Yeah.
Anytime there's been any kind of like, hey, these workers are striking for this reason, or
Yeah.
they're trying to unionize for this reason, or God, I remember the year when Life of Pi
Yes.
was nominated for
We
visual
were
effects.
working
and
in
then
the
Rhythm
industry
and
with
Hughes
Life
went
of
under.
Pi.
I was like,
Rhythm and
oh
Hughes
my God.
went under
Yeah.
Yep.
because of the way that whole thing is structured, and it was like so crazy, man.
So that's kind of one thing that I guess this is going to go into movie news a little bit. So they pushed back the whole MCU slate.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Nobody
yeah.
really knows why.
Yeah.
They didn't explain why.
Yeah, Kevin Feige has been very diplomatic with his responses.
I have a feeling it has to do with the
IATSE.
new hours. Yeah, the strike that just happened. They struck a deal.
good.
They're giving the artists more time, maybe more pay.
I hope
you
so.
know, more work-life balance, because that's the
Yeah.
reason I jumped out of the industry. There was no work-life balance.
hard,
I was
man.
trying
man.
to explore a new city
Guys,
at that
and
point.
we were all in our 20s, and
Right.
shit.
Yeah.
Like there were guys that were in their 30s and 40s that had families.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
We
that.
had one guy.
Great
I won't
guys.
name names, but he was a really really nice guy.
Yeah.
really hardworking. But when he was at that studio for 37 hours straight working on a shot,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew this is it for me.
I know,
I need
because,
to get
because
out of this.
realistically, that's our future.
Yeah.
Or
Not mine.
did we want to move up and be kind of upgraded and
Right.
promoted to a position where we're kind of overseeing that sort of?
Yeah.
No.
If you have an opportunity when you're young and you're not married yet,
Right.
or maybe don't have kids or
You
some
want to
other
like explore the
responsibilities,
industry.
if you can and you have an opportunity, swap industries, change industries.
Yeah.
And our generation has been doing a lot of that shit too, because our parents' generation had more company loyalty.
Right.
Yes,
Locked
exactly.
into one job.
Locked into one job, better benefits, and the company treated them better. Whereas a lot of our generation has been treated like a disposable workforce. So
Yeah.
a lot of people our age are like, okay, well then I'm just going to quit this industry altogether.
Right,
this
right,
thing I
right.
went to college for,
Yeah.
Right.
and just try this other. Oh, look at this! I can make money and I'm fine here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'm happy here. So
And I think that's the reality of the situation. And I've had a lot of people ask me to talk about my career trajectory with, like, I've been asked to go to schools and talk to elementary school kids and stuff. And they're like, yeah, talk to these kids. They all are interested in doing movies. They all love Marvel stuff and comic
you
books.
want to be like, don't.
And I'm just like, fuck, don't
Yeah,
do what I
I
did.
know,
That's
I know.
stupid. Like, don't
Yeah.
go work in Hollywood. It's the worst.
I find that I'm
But
also.
I don't want to crush dreams
I know.
also.
Yeah, it's
That's
tough.
the balance.
I find that I'm also very anti-college, and it's like I'm lucky
yeah.
too, because we went to this school that technically we got a degree.
Yeah.
In a 3-year program, normally
Yeah.
it takes 4 to
Yeah.
get a bachelor's degree.
I ended up taking 4 anyway because I'm stupid. But
Yeah, it's fine. No, it's fine, but it's still like it. But in retrospect, I look back and I'm like, was that college experience worth that amount of money?
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
No, it wasn't.
Absolutely
It
not.
wasn't.
Like if
No.
I could have done things differently, I would have. Would I still have been able to get my foot in the door at a place like Legend? Probably not. Maybe, but like I don't know.
Well,
I
that's
don't
not
know.
true.
So
Yeah, because
because I
Yeah.
don't have a college degree.
that's what I'm
Right.
saying.
I literally found the listing for Legend on Craigslist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, they were posting shit on Craigslist.
Yeah,
So it's just
right.
like, wait a
And-
minute.
and-
I went to college. No offense. No offense.
no,
I'm
no,
glad.
I'm taking it.
Listen, Adam, I'm glad you got hired.
Yeah.
You're one of the great
You're
people
good- the good
who
ones.
I've met in my life. But the fact that Augustine and I went to school
Yeah.
Yeah.
and took out loans and spent crazy amounts of money.
Yeah.
And then this company was poaching like looking for us, but then
Yeah.
also just posting shit on Craigslist.
Right,
It's like,
right.
what kind
I
of
mean,
a
I thought
scam?
I thought it was a scam, and I was
Yeah.
like, because the listing said seeking visual effects artists for Hollywood blockbusters, and I'm like,
yeah, what?
in San Diego on Craigslist?
Yeah.
Yep, full of shit.
Yeah.
So then I emailed them. I sent my resume. Like, okay, you have to come in for a test. And then I walked into the office, and the test was Iron Man 1, and I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
okay, this has to be somewhat legit.
Yeah,
right,
and I mean,
right.
it was. I mean,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
were working.
I mean,
The Shrek, we did the first 3 Shrek movies.
Yeah.
Transformers: Dark of the Moon. We did a restoration of Top Gun.
We did Disney's Cinderella that will never see the light of
Yeah.
day.
We did the Little Rascals, which nobody ever
Yeah.
talks about
Yeah.
because it didn't.
Oh, that's
happen.
right, because the company originally started as like a colorization. They colorized
Yeah.
black and white stuff.
Yeah.
And then they like
They had the
adopted that
rights.
technology to 3D.
Yeah, they had the rights to like some Little Rascal shorts.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we're,
yeah.
we're gonna do this too. It's like, who's asking for
Yeah.
that?
Nobody.
Let me
Who?
just Jimmy's checking with everybody who's asking for Little Rascals in 3D.
Sounds about right.
what I
Sounds
thought.
about right. Yeah.
Anyway.
Nobody.
That's crazy. Yeah, so college is a scam. Is what I'm saying.
See, I wouldn't call it a scam.
Yeah.
But it's
I think
not.
you need to be very particular.
It's not what they built it up to be.
Yeah.
Totally, you're right.
The problem is the people are devaluing diplomas.
Yes.
So now the new high school diploma is now a college diploma, and that is even wiping itself out. Which is a problem. I have no issue with people going and furthering their education.
Yeah.
Yep.
I found out that because I didn't have a traditional college experience, that going to a place like UCLA or another big normal college, you do get this cool immersion. You meet new people. Like it's
I did
cool.
that for a year. I went to UC Irvine.
Oh, that's right, you did.
I did it for a year,
Right?
And then from there quit because I wasn't happy and I wasn't finding the thing I wanted to find.
Yeah.
And then also my girlfriend at the time, truthfully, she had also moved back home to San Diego where she was going to UCLA.
Yeah.
So I'm in Irvine. She's at UCLA. I didn't get into UCLA. I'm dumb. But so
I'm
like I
dumb
was
too.
dating her at the time and commuting just from like Orange County to to the UCLA area. And then when she moved back to San Diego and transferred there, I was like, well, there's not really that much up for me here. I tried out for their improv team. I didn't get on the team. And years later, those wonderful people, like I know who they are today, like because those improvisers went and moved to LA and all this other shit. So it's like I'm like years later, I see those people and I think to myself, I wasn't good enough to be on the improv team at college, and it's true, I wasn't. And so anyway, I didn't have anything going for me. But you're absolutely right, Augustine. You get an experience.
Yeah,
should it be as much money as it is today?
No, absolutely not. That's
100%
highway
not.
robbery.
Yeah.
That's legitimately gypping somebody of their future. It's absolutely stupid what people are charging for college. But at the same time, I do think that there's a lot of merit in going and meeting new people and getting new experiences and stuff like that. Because I know that I wasn't built for my hometown.
Yeah.
I know that I would have been miserable, depressed, just had a horrible time there.
Yeah.
But moving out, going to San Diego, meeting you guys, coming to LA, it's absolutely changed who I am. And it all happened because of I'm empty now. So
Me too.
you're empty? Okay, I have 2 more beers left. It all happened because I, decided to get, to go to college basically.
Gimme.
Maybe once
And you get to do that in college. Here, Adam, you can have this one.
You sure?
Yeah.
Oh, what a nice guy.
I have to drive.
I just went to
Okay.
you have to drive? No, you don't.
He's gonna drive next door.
Oh, wait, you still have beer in here?
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
Yeah, that one's for you.
Yeah,
Okay,
there you
then
go,
I'm
baby.
going to take that one.
I just went to my dad's wedding and I was talking to a cousin of mine who is
primo.
like a primo who is first year college right now.
Yeah.
And I told him, I'm like, if I could give you one piece of advice, it would be
Don't go.
hey, well,
Get the out of there.
I said, have one night where you're at home safe. And if you have access to like beer or whatever, like have one night where you actually drink yourself to your limit. Because I never had that in college. And I had a terrible night at Comic-Con.
Oh. Wait, are we making this public?
It was really bad. Not even at that Comic-Con. That's
Oh, what?
That's a different Comic-Con.
Oh my God,
That's a
Hector.
different Comic-Con.
Oh, you told me this story.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Wait, then I don't think I
Real
know this
bad.
story.
Tell.
It's bad. I was like,
Tell him where you slept, Hector.
I was like, here, tell my story. I was all
Submitted for the approval
A nightmare.
of the Heroes Reforged
Imagine.
Society.
Imagine, if you will, a young Mexican man who never knew his alcohol limits is given
A
the
young brown
opportunity-
boy
a young
exploring
brown boy,
his first taste of the nightlife.
as a professional heading to San Diego Comic-Con in his late 20s, is invited to a party where there is unlimited shots. What happens next is a true story.
oh my God.
Guys,
With too much money and a big old boner. What happens to Hector Navarro?
I told my primo, I told him, listen, I hit my limit too late. And I wish I had known, because a lot of times kids in college are dummies and they do drink too much and then they puke and then they kind of know, since I didn't have that. Cut to Comic-Con one year, years later, after I was working at Stereo D, after I was working at a voice acting agency. And it's a horror story, but I had an opportunity to go to San Diego for Comic-Con, right? Like I'm on kind of company time a little bit. Although I think I was staying with my mom. So like nobody bought me a hotel room. My mom lived in San Diego, so I could just go there. But found some friends from LA. Down there, you know how it is.
Your eyes really widened at that point, so this must be the turning point of the story.
It gets crazy. Oh, shit. And one of the guys was like, one of the guys who I knew from this friend group in LA that was like these improvisers and stuff like that. One of them was like, hey, our buddy's here who works as like a real estate agent in like Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
His boss is here. His boss is a millionaire, and this woman is going to take us to a club, and she's going to buy us drinks and stuff
all night long.
You know, and I'm like 28 or something, so like it's not like somebody's buying me drinks and I'm underage. It's like I'm a 28-year-old man.
I can do what I want.
And she was buying really nice drinks for everybody at the bar, and I was like, I'm going to drink this lady under the table. I was like, I'm going to take advantage of this free
booze.
You guys, I got so drunk so fast. I ended up, it's so embarrassing.
Oh, no.
I know the story, and it's glorious.
I remember having a good time in the club. All of a sudden, I'm outside. I don't know if I walked outside or if like a bouncer grabbed me and took me outside. But I'm puking on my shoes in the streets of San Diego, like a couple blocks from the convention center. And I remember a woman and her boyfriend were walking by, and a woman was like, oh my God, looking at me. And I was like, I'm sorry. I looked up and I was like, Jesus. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm fine. I'm okay. But I like had puked on my shoes. And then I was like, I felt so bad. I was like, I got to go home. I got to get home. I got to get home. But I can't drive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my car and sit in there and just take a nap in my car. Is what I'm going to do. You know? So I'm walking the streets of San Diego. Thankfully,
Christ.
I remembered where I parked because of me being a San Diego native. I was like, I parked up in the hills over by my old improv college theater
over by Lucha Libre.
I was like, I know exactly where to go. So by
Shakespeare's.
Exactly. Shakespeare's pub. So I walked all the way over there, except at some point I passed out.
You walked from downtown all the way over there?
That's far.
Dude, do you understand how far that is?
It is. I'm like, did I take the trolley?
Anyone from San Diego listening who knows that distance thinks you're a lunatic.
But here's the thing. It was blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks, but I'm hammered. I'm like drunk out of my ass.
How did you not sober up by the time you got there?
How did somebody not call the cops on you? Look at this drunk guy walking down the street.
But here's the icing on the cake.
Because I had enough, I guess I was holding myself together, I guess, but at some point I passed out.
Yeah.
And then it was 5 a.m. and I woke up and I am on a hillside of a San Diego street somewhere. Like,
not in his car.
Like still blocks from my car. Dude, I passed out and like rolled over into a bush and I had my backpack on. I had my little Comic-Con stuff on.
God.
And I woke up and it was like 5 a.m. and the first thing I thought was like, did anybody take my wallet? Did anybody, like, everything was fine because wherever I was, I had passed out and it was like a little neighborhood.
He tumbled down a hill.
It was away from downtown.
You hot rodded it down a hill?
Oh my God. It was away from downtown. So I'm like, I guess there was nobody walking at those hours at night. So I woke up, got into my car, drove.
Covered in morning dew.
Just the worst night of my life, dude. Felt like shit. Drove to my mom's and we just
she went, Mijo, what are you doing?
Can you make me soup? Like, it was awful.
Mama, I need menudo.
That's what I needed.
Mamita.
So, moral of the story is,
some pozole, please.
I seriously was like, can I have chilaquiles?
Can I have huevos con weenies, please?
Weenies, my favorite. I was slammered out of my mind, dude. I was so fucked up.
Wow.
Oh
That's insane.
The moral of the story is,
oh my God,
don't get into a position where don't get into a position where that happens to you and you have to, and like it's an important event. Know your limit. Know what your body responds to when you are safe and at home. And you know what? If you got to puke because you've had like too many beers or wine or whatever, at least you know, and you're at home and you can be safe, and then you go lay in the bed. Like, you got to do it. You got to find.
Yeah. Then he went to Comic-Con with me and he tried to keep up with me and he threw up in his bed.
That was a different Comic-Con.
That was WonderCon.
WonderCon.
Hector, how you feeling, bro? I'm great, man. Super drunk.
Yeah. Here's the other lesson: don't ever try to drink as much as Adam Lavick.
No, don't ever.
We went out this weekend.
Oh my
Yeah.
We
God.
went out on Sunday to this place called Chella's.
Yeah.
Really, really great bar over here in East LA. And for Oktoberfest, their deal is that they have a 1 liter Stein. And if you get the Stein, you get to keep it and you can refill
is
it.
it?
It's in my room.
You drank the Stein.
I drank 3
Oh my God.
This bro had 3 liters of beer.
within a 2-hour span.
Let me tell you, this is how Adam gets drunk. This is because he's like a stealthy drunk. Right? When he starts drinking and he's getting drunk, this is what Adam turns into.
Baby's in the crib.
You're like, you good, man? And he's just like, and so you can't tell. You're like, dude, are you buzzed? Or are you drunk?
or
are you sloshed out of your mind? Like, where are you? And he's so everywhere in between. Like he's just there.
I'm like a Venn diagram.
He just keeps drinking and
everything.
keeps drinking, and you're like, okay, all right, man. And you get like, oh, this is too much. And the whole time he's just like,
he's in heaven, basically.
Yeah. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I came home and I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom. I walked out. I put my glass in the kitchen, and then I laid on my bed and I slept till 11.
Dude.
And then this guy was playing video games and he's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Mm-hmm." Yep, I'm great.
3 Steins. Okay.
Yeah.
All
3
right.
liters of beer
I
you're
looked it
human.
up and it was about 9 beers.
Yeah.
9 like bottles of beer.
Whoa.
in
Yeah.
2 hours.
Yeah.
What?
Homie can drink.
I can do 9 beers in like a night.
I can do
7
9 beers in
hours.
3
Yeah.
days.
Yeah, seriously.
That's,
Yeah.
that's
Well, I think a lot of it was
impossibly a lot.
because we just haven't been going out a lot because, you know, we're still like, it's still kind of like questionable.
Pandy's still happening.
Yeah,
It is,
and
it
you know,
is.
some bars, it just kind of depends like how many people are out there and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And yeah, I don't know. I was like excited to have this Stein. I was like, I want one so I can have it for the rest of the year.
dude. Yeah. Yeah.
Oops.
All right. Yeah, we can have it. Can you take it back to the bar and get free refills whenever? Or
Yeah,
no?
it's like $14 for a refill.
That's
Oh.
great. That's
Okay. Is that
that's
a
the
good,
price of a
Is that a
12
good deal?
I think so for
I
how
mean,
giant
they got
that
some
beer
good
is.
beer over there.
Oh, really?
So I would
Okay.
think that's a good deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it's less. I don't know. Maybe the receipt was a little blurry.
Maybe it's $41.
Yeah, maybe. I honestly don't even know what I
was
paid at that bar.
$41. I'm sure it was.
It was a
fine.
good deal.
I'm sure it was
a good
fine.
deal.
Man,
Yeah.
these are scary, spooky stories.
I guess. Do I have any crazy? I mean, I guess I'm the bad one. I started drinking in high school.
Yeah. Yep.
It's
Fun.
You know what though? I don't think I've ever seen you drunk.
Yeah, man. You're,
Well, actually, when we went to
Berlin.
Berlin, you were.
I was the slightest bit
Yeah.
drunk. When we were
Yeah.
doing the karaoke in
Yeah.
Berlin,
Oh,
yes,
yeah, yeah.
I was.
I was really trashed.
I mean, you all were smammered out of your mind. But I kept a little bit sober because I was like, okay, one of us has to get us home. Somebody has to call the Uber. Like somebody needs to get us home. So I was drinking, but I wasn't super duper drunk. But I started drinking in high school, and I went to a private Catholic high school.
Yeah.
All rich white kids, right? And I'm there, and I'm just like, yeah, you guys don't drink? Like, what's going on? And so I kind of introduced my friend group to drinking. And
You're that guy.
I was that guy in high school, and we had I think back on it now, and I was like, how did my parents never know that I was drinking? They totally knew that I was drinking. They were just cool with me drinking at the house. So
Yeah.
at our house, we had this old like RV trailer in the back. It was like a super duper long trailer. Nobody ever used it, so it was just kind of like furnished and empty. And so I would tell my friends, hey, let's go in my backyard and drink.
Oh my
And so I
God.
would bring people over, we'd get all drunk, and then we'd just sleep in the RV.
That's awesome.
And so I,
At least you did it responsibly, I guess.
Yeah.
I was 16.
That's
Like,
best
how
case
responsible
scenario.
is that?
But that's
like,
best case scenario. You weren't
I
like, let's go
guess.
out, let's get a fake ID, let's
Right, I
sneak
guess.
around from our parents, and
Yeah.
you know, Yeah.
So I thought I was being sneaky. I was like, oh yeah, my parents will never know.
They're in the window with a chancla going.
They were 20 feet away.
Yeah.
Like the trailer
Yeah.
was here, and then the yard, and then my parents' window.
they could hear the
yeah, they could hear all. Yeah,
you know,
they could hear the glug glug glug.
they're
glug,
watching
glug.
Sábado Gigante
Yeah,
and they
exactly.
hear
They're like,
Yeah.
mijo, este pendejo.
Elise is at the
Yeah,
house.
at least it's here.
least it's
okay,
here.
he's okay. I was really lucky that my parents, even if I was drinking, they would be okay with it as long as
Same.
at the house. house
Same,
and
yeah.
I wasn't, driving anywhere. So
I just wish
bless
you didn't,
my parents
you
for
didn't
that.
damn all those Catholic kids to hell.
Well, you know
Man.
what? When they got to college, they damned themselves
Yeah.
because they completely changed when they went to
man.
college.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So some of them, where I was like, wait, you're doing this now? Like,
Yeah.
what happened? In high school, you were so
crazy.
goody-goody. And
That's
I'm over
crazy.
here like, I haven't been drunk in 16 years. and so, yeah, I don't have any drunk stories because I tend to hold my alcohol in case I need to drive
Yeah.
or in case like something goes down.
Yeah.
I want to be that dude who's like, okay, I'm not drunk. I'll talk to the cops, even though I'm a
Yep.
brown guy.
Oh my
I will
God.
try to talk to the cops.
I was that guy too, dude. In high school,
Yeah.
I never really drank too much, but I remember going to some parties and I remember being with like a friend, and then she was like, I got to go get my friend. And her friend was like really messed up at
Yeah.
a party, and the cops were coming.
Yeah.
And I went to straight dad mode where I
Right,
was like,
exactly.
get in the car. Like I was like,
Mika, get in.
Melinda, let's go
I
now.
was like, Melinda, like if I was their dad, because I was so,
right,
scared.
because you want to
and-
protect your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a nasty monster when I started drinking.
What do you mean?
Because my friends and I, we kind of made this like, it wasn't like a policy, but we basically agreed like, if we go to house parties, we're not going to drink because we have to drive.
Yeah. Okay.
And we didn't want to deal with like cops and all that stuff. And then it was like my junior year in high school, I think. I went to a house party with coworkers. And that was like the first house party I went to with coworkers because I had just started working.
Where were you working?
AMC.
Right on. Yeah.
I
yeah,
miss
yeah.
the movie theaters.
Yeah.
So I went to this house party and they're like, hey, have you ever had Jägermeister? And I'm like,
Oh,
no, what is
man.
that? They're like, oh man, you got to try it. Okay. So they gave me a shot.
Yeah.
Had one shot. I was like, this is good. I'll take another.
Yeah.
Had a second shot.
Oh,
this is really good. Had another, third shot.
Yep.
6 shots. I was like, oh, I thought drinking was like where you get messed up. I feel pretty good. What I didn't know was that it took time before
Magical
it kicked in.
final words.
35 minutes later, I remember most of the night, but
Pooped your pants.
no, thank God I didn't. I remember most of the night, and I remember my friends having to like carry me to the car because I was like, "Oh man, I had a great time, but I'm really messed up." And I ended up having to like go into the bathroom, and I started like, I thought I was gonna vomit, so I dunked my head under the sink.
I thought you were gonna say in the toilet.
No,
Oh, no.
I dunked my head under the sink, and I just put cold water on myself.
Yeah.
And then I just sat on the edge of the tub, and I was like, "I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be okay." And I was fine.
You didn't puke.
No, I didn't puke, but I was
Wow.
just like, okay, maybe I should do 6 shots in a span of 8 minutes. Probably not a good idea.
I hate that feeling too, dude. That feeling of like where you like, I think I'm gonna puke, but
Yeah.
I don't want to puke.
Oh,
I
that's the
hate that.
worst.
Yeah.
I hate
That's
it.
another reason why I don't get drunk. Like,
Yeah,
I
that
have such a
feeling.
better time holding my buzz.
Yeah.
Like a
Yes.
tantric buzz.
Yeah.
That I'm just like, this is awesome. When I get to that tipping point, it ruins my night. Like,
Yeah.
I hate getting drunk. I hate
Yeah.
the day after.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really hate being hungover. So I'm just
Yeah.
like, you know what? I'll keep my buzz all night long.
That feeling is like, it's so funny because I'm so stubborn and I'm holding and I'm like, I'm not gonna puke. I'm not gonna puke. I'm not gonna puke.
good.
But then the second my body's like, you're gonna puke, I always remember feeling like, oh, thank God, because I definitely want to now. This
is gonna make you feel so much better.
It usually does. It's like
yeah.
you puke and you just go, oh, okay, I
I
feel
needed
better.
that,
I
yeah.
need to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Like,
Have you guys ever had I guess those are part of, I had one moment where I drank so much that the next morning I may have had alcohol poisoning, but I never went to
Oh
like
my
go get it
God.
checked out.
Jesus.
My whole like back were like my kidney, like it was all in pain.
Oh my God. Do you
dr-
still have kidneys? Are you sure
I
nobody
don't know,
harvested
man.
your kidneys?
Who knows? They may be somewhere in Europe. I don't know.
maybe that's what happened to me when I passed out in San Diego.
They stole your kidneys and your liver.
Oh, my
God.
kidneys hurt right now. Ow.
But I remember I drank 3/4 of a handle of Jack Daniels. No. It was
Jeez.
Sky Vodka.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, and I ended up, my friend drove me home and I ended up in the passenger seat of my car, and I had moved out at that point, so I had clothes in the back of my seat, so I ended up with a button-up shirt over me as a blanket, and I woke up the next day and I had to be at work at 9.
Oh no.
Ooh, I had to carry a stool with me all day, but I was lucky because I was in the projection booth, so I had to take 10
okay.
steps, and I was like, I feel terrible. I
here.
gotta sit.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta go threat projector 2. I did that for 8 hours, and I was like,
why did you have to be at an AMC at 9 in the morning?
well, because on the weekends we start early.
Yeah, movies
How
start
early?
early. There's the early
Like
bird
10 a.m.?
special.
Yeah,
Oh my
we
God.
were actually open by like 9:15, so I might have
Bro,
even had to be in there earlier.
You've never been to a Sunday morning early movie?
Yeah.
Those are the best. That's my preferred time to go to a movie.
Especially
I have.
because the
I have.
theater that I worked at, AMC La Jolla, it was primarily a like senior crowd, so they're early birds.
Yeah.
And so we had a lot of that, and we had a lot of church people. So they would come to the very early
Interesting.
showings. So yeah, I'd have to be there like 45 minutes to an hour early because I had to thread all the projectors, and we had 12
Yeah.
projectors. So it took time to get all that done. But yeah, that was a miserable night.
That sucks.
Well, look at us now.
I know, right?
We're awesome now.
We're good to go. I'm only slightly bit drunk.
Let that be a lesson to you. I'm gonna keep drinking. Yeah.
Do you guys feel like, for me, the pandemic was weird because I lived with Zach and Malika at Hyper.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're not drinkers at all.
Yeah.
So I was talking with Christian and those guys yesterday, and they were like, we drank way more. And I was like,
Yeah.
I drank way less.
You mean during the pandemic?
During, yeah.
It was a combination.
yeah.
Yeah.
Me at my place and our little family unit over there. When the pandemic started and we were all like, this is going to be for 2 months.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
were like,
Right.
let's all have a glass of wine.
Right, right,
Like
right.
a night or every other night
Yeah.
or like a few times a week or once a week.
Yeah.
And we were kind of going through wine a good amount.
crazy.
So much so that my girlfriend Abby did one of those wine subscription.
Oh,
And I
nice.
feel like those services must have gone up during the pandemic.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, are you kidding
yeah.
me?
People are at home.
Yeah.
You know,
Of course.
they didn't want to go out. They can't go out safely
Yeah.
shopping or whatever. So like we did a couple of those, and some of those services have like a sign up your friend, get 50% off. Boom,
Right.
boom, boom.
So
we did
every
it.
roommate did it?
Yeah, we did it like that.
And you staggered the months.
Staggered the months, and then if you guys have been over recently, like we have a ton of bottles
Yeah,
of wine
we saw
still.
that,
We kind
yeah.
of stopped. Like it kind of, you know,
Yeah.
it sort of slowed down to a crawl, and like we still do, but it's.
Yeah.
I feel like it's back to normal. But in the
Yeah.
early pandemic, we were like, let's watch a movie every night and enjoy
Yeah.
our time. And now
Right,
we're
right,
like,
right.
everything's kind of the same but miserable, and
Yeah.
it's weird.
That's how it was
worked
with
a
us
lot.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you worked a lot.
Yeah,
You were on stream
10-hour
12
days,
hours a day.
10 to 12 hours
Yeah,
a day. Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. That's a lot of time. But we'll save that conversation for later. My experience was kind of the same as yours. I actually started cooking a lot. I actually realized that I enjoy cooking a lot more.
Yeah.
But I also put on the pandemic pounds.
oh,
Like,
me too, baby.
bro, it sucks, man.
You
Like,
guys look
it's-
exactly the same.
Tell that to my shirts that are like, oh shit, Hulk smash, what's going on? Like,
Oh my God.
all my buttons are like, dear God, what did you do? I tried to put on some pants that I wore pre-pandemic, and I'm just like, no. It's really
Just
funny.
lingers.
These people found it really funny, by the way.
There's a couple. It's like a sitcom laugh. There's a couple of those,
Lingers.
The lingering ones. The
Those
guy that's
after
laughing
ones,
a little
yeah.
too hard at the
Yeah.
joke. Yeah, no, I put on the pandemic pounds for sure
Yeah.
because I felt like it, honestly, it felt like an emergency, and I was like, oh, this is why people like
Oh,
go to
100%.
food and have food as a comfort thing.
100%, 100%,
Because it's
yeah.
like, dang, this was crazy, something that we had never experienced. I remember the night before the lockdown happened was a night that we were supposed to film our last show.
Yeah.
And I remember I was heading out the door, and all over the news was like, lockdown's gonna happen, whatever.
Yeah.
And I messaged you guys, I was like, fuck you guys, everything's going on lockdown.
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't meet up at this
Yeah.
point. And so
And I'm sure one of us was like, "It's cool. We'll just do it again in like a month."
yeah, exactly. We were just like, yeah. As soon as this thing's over,
let's
it'll be
take
2
2
weeks.
weeks, 2
and
weeks.
Yeah, and it'll be fine. And then here we are.
Oh my God.
almost 2 years later.
It was really tough not seeing you guys for that long.
Yeah.
right.
It was
Yeah.
all right, I'm never mind. I don't want to get emotional about it.
It was tough, but I feel like it kind of spurred us to do this on our own kind
Yeah,
of thing.
it
You know
did.
what we need? We need one of these sound effects to be the oh.
Oh yeah,
I think there is one. No.
Imagine how insensitive. Imagine
You
how
son of a
insensitive.
bitch.
If Adam was like, I don't want to get emotional, I was like, that'd be the worst.
this guy.
That'd be the worst thing ever. Nope, that's not it.
You insensitive prick.
It was really hard not seeing you guys. Yeah, I
No,
don't-
but it was weird. It was because we'd been doing this for so long. I think
At that point, we were doing it for 6 years.
I think this
But
show.
haven't you guys gotten used to us doing it through the internet now?
Absolutely.
I have gotten used to
Yeah.
it.
I've gotten used to it, but
Especially
it's
for
not to
trailer
say that I
reactions and
so
reactions
that's the
and
thing.
stuff.
The
Yeah.
reaction stuff makes it super like we can
Yeah.
compete with everybody else at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Because before we would have to get together and do this, there was a lot of reactions that I missed out on, or that one of us would miss out on.
And people would be like,
busy.
come on, guys, you're 6 hours late.
Yeah.
Where's the... It's like, fuck, man.
It's like, bro,
We live 30 minutes away in every direction.
I gotta drive in 3-hour traffic to get to the studio to film.
Come on, guys, the trailer just came out 12 minutes ago. Where's your reaction?
What's your reaction, right?
Up my butt.
Well.
So luckily, just like this whole the Batman one happened, right? You were busy.
Oh, you guys did a
I
great
was out
job,
of
by the way.
town,
That was
but
a fun
we were still able to react to
Yeah.
it because I was able to do it remotely, right? So in a way, like, I like that we were able to adapt.
Yeah.
I like the changes that we did make. I like that we started our own channel. Like, we're doing this now, which is dope.
That's true.
We're Chexicans.
That's right.
And so in a way, it's good. But at first, it was pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
You know what though? The fact is like
Uncertain.
it was emotional. It was shitty that we weren't seeing each other. Right? We're gaining weight. Everybody's stressed. Everybody's depressed. But the thing is that
Talk to my shirts.
Everybody on the planet has
Was
gone
going
through the
through it.
same thing.
Yeah,
So
right.
everybody I think also has this. I mean, at least decent people have this understanding of like, yeah, man. We get it. Like everybody was going through their
We're all in
own
the shit
shit.
together.
We're all in the shit together.
Right.
And the beautiful thing is that when we were able to get our stuff together and start putting out videos and do things from our houses, and you guys were helping me with my equipment setup, and you're still helping me with my equipment setup. And everything that we're doing, to hear feedback from people being like, "God, guys, this is just what I needed."
Yeah.
Like it makes me it makes me feel so great to watch your stuff, and it feels like we're hanging out. And I was like, it felt like it brought us back to how it felt when we were first doing stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
For
You know
sure.
what I mean?
Right, yeah,
So
yeah.
superhero news and
I
shit
know,
even before then. Like,
That old school stuff.
that old school
I mean,
stuff.
what makes me happy is like the one lady who reached out to us from Ireland.
I'm so happy you just did that right now.
What did he do?
Don't look under the table.
I'm touching his feet with my feet.
Oh my god, your pinkies are like this under the table.
Our big toes.
All of our toes are.
You're doing this.
Yeah, here's our toes. And they just went.
That's disgusting.
Sorry.
We got socks. It's fine.
You said you got.
No, I was
socks?
gonna say
know.
like we're reaching out to people. That lady from Ireland who wanted us to record a message for her and her husband.
Rebecca, yeah.
Rebecca. And what's the dude's name?
Frank.
Rebecca and Frank. If you guys are listening too, here's another congratulations on getting married.
Still don't ask him for marriage advice.
Don't ask me. I forgot your name, so don't fucking talk to me about that. Talk to this guy. But I think it's cool. I think what we have is like really, really dope. I'm really appreciative of the people who are watching this and like keep supporting us. We finally have a Patreon, so we can have merch. Like the Patreon paid for all of this
Patreon paid for all of this stuff.
Like,
I mean, it's really true. And you know, it's weird because prior, the financial thing was like kind of weird. But now that it's like all ours, I remember I was deciding like, well, what do I want to get? What kind of camera? And I talked to this guy about it. And he's like, bro, we have this money. Just buy whatever you want.
Buy what you need.
Buy
Like,
what you need. Buy like
funds
what's
are
gonna
there.
buy what's gonna help us do our job efficiently. And I was like,
Absolutely.
oh yeah,
because
it's ours.
Adam was trying to Mickey Mouse the situation together. He was like, "We'll have this camera and this lens, and we can make it work, but we have to color grade and like do." And I'm just like, "Bro, buy what you need. Like,
Seriously.
that's what the money is there
Yeah.
for."
And again, shout out to the Patreon because now all three of us, we each have our own yachts, and we would have never been able to do this.
Yeah, I have 80
before.
properties in Los
It's
Angeles.
pretty sweet, man.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
sweet.
I bought a porta potty.
Bought a
It's
porta-
great.
So
Yeah.
So when we
I
have
have-
our yacht parties, it's awesome. We have all three of us have a yacht.
Yeah, I hired people to throw flower petals in front of me before I go anywhere.
What is that, velvet?
Exactly.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
nice.
So
That's right.
But no, it's true though. Like without the Patreon, and I think just without the general support of everybody, you know, I was super nervous about undertaking this whole like remote situation because at Hyper that was like part of our job.
Yeah.
But we didn't adapt to the remote stuff. We were adapting to that same stuff simultaneously, like while we were starting this channel.
Yeah.
So like I knew some stuff. But you know, like we were doing it on Zoom. Everybody was recording their own separate OBS thing, and then I was compiling it, and I was like, "This is taking too long. I need something that's like more efficient." So we found a new way to do it, and like now it's easy. We just open a program, and these guys call in, and we just do a thing.
Yeah,
and I know people were asking about that too. So people were saying like, "Oh, I'm so excited for you guys to do trailer reactions together in a room." to be totally honest with you, it is not worth it to have everybody drive to one location. It's way faster.
The only way that's going to happen...
lean over Adam's computer right here to be like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, for real.
Great looking movie.
The only way that's going to happen is if a trailer drops the night we're recording one
Exactly.
of these podcasts.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
let's check
No
Twitter
joke.
right
Yeah.
now. Like, is
Right? We'll
anything-
be on Twitter.
Yeah.
The show's going to be just us checking Twitter all day.
Well, and actually that ended up working out for us when the last Eternals trailer came out. We were recording a review or something, and I opened Twitter and I was like, hey, the Eternals trailer dropped. Should we just react to it right now?
Bingo.
And we could just get it done.
midnight 01 or
yeah,
something.
it was.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
You're
And
right.
it was like one of our best performing videos because we got it out immediately.
Yeah.
So we'll do the podcast together. We talked about maybe doing like movie reviews together if we like do the screenings together. But trailer reactions and like show reactions, no one wants to come here at midnight.
No.
Because we do it all at midnight.
No.
You know?
I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, of course
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
No.
No,
I
exactly.
like being in my garage.
Yeah.
And then we're done at 1 a.m.
And you can
Yes.
take your pants off and go to bed.
You can do it with no pants on.
Yeah.
Nobody even
I-
knows.
No one can see.
Yeah.
walk in the house and go to sleep.
Exactly.
Right,
That's-
exactly.
So it's like, I know people got really excited, but I'm like, hold on.
Hold on, guys.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Time
We're going to
out.
do a hybrid system.
Pump the brakes.
Isn't
Pump
that
the
cool?
brakes.
It's hybrid.
system.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Well,
But I love that
speaking
flexibility.
of
Right.
trailers,
Yeah.
I got to tell you guys how I felt about Batman.
Oh, that's right. Give us your reaction, Hector.
Your guys' reaction was awesome. And what I loved is you talked about the filmmaking of it, and you talked about the cinematographer. You gave him credit,
Yeah.
and you
Bingo.
talked about how the trailer was embracing the color of the world of Batman. All really great stuff. I really enjoyed the trailer. I got to be honest. I'm still. I'm gonna go see this movie, but the number one thing that's making me want to go see this movie is Matt Reeves.
Yeah.
And then number two is probably Jeffrey Wright, Zoe Kravitz, Paul Dano, like the cast.
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson.
Pattinson?
Pattins? Is it with an
Pattinson.
N?
Pattin?
Let me look it up.
S-O-N? Are you sure?
Yeah.
I'll look it up. I'll Google
Thank
it.
I've had to write the description so many times in our YouTube
Okay,
videos.
I believe you. Robert Pattinson, phenomenal actor. Like the cast and the director is what's got me hooked. And that trailer, for as cool as it was, I remember watching it and being like, this is awesome. It's really giving me a lot of the Christopher Nolan vibes. So the thing that I kept thinking in the back of my head was like, this movie is going to need to justify its existence.
Yeah.
Because we've had this conversation 1,000 times before. I want Batman on film to be awesome. I don't want to continue to see Batman on film be so separate
Yeah.
from DC.
Yeah,
And you know what? I was just talking to our buddy Coy Jandro at the Eternals premiere. I ran into him, and he was saying, he goes, I think that this is going to be its own separate thing.
Yeah.
And that the ongoing DC superhero franchise will be what we've already getting with the Wonder Womans and the Aquamans and the Shazams and all that stuff. And a part of me was like, a part of me still goes, then what's the point?
Right.
But another part of me is like, only just because we've gotten that before with Christopher Nolan with 3 movies. I've gotten that before in comics. I've read,
And we had the Burton Schumacher movies too.
yeah, all the different iterations of Batman. And all I'm saying is I have gotten like great standalone Batman stories.
Yeah.
And the best Batman comics are standalone. I'll be the first person to admit The Long Halloween, Year One, of course, Dark Knight Returns. But I'm like tired of talking about those.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I feel like those are
And-
the same 4 comics we've talked about for 20 years.
And
right.
people are saying, oh, this one might have to do with the Court of Owls, which I'm not the biggest fan of
Yeah.
those comics, but they're new and they're different.
Yeah.
And it was really encouraging to see Robert Pattinson talk about even the Tom King Batman stuff, which is like recent.
Yeah.
Which is like, it just happened. So when he's talking about all of the different influences, that gets me excited. And that's really, because again, I was also hearing Matt Reeves talk about, Christopher Reeves. Matt Reeves talk about how
Christopher Nolan.
like, looking at Batman
Yeah.
in this way that's really grounded, it's never been done before, and all this other stuff. And I'm like, there were shots in the trailer that straight up reminded me of sequences and shots in The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Whether it's the camera that's stuck on the penguin, like
driving.
cab or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is the same shot that Heath Ledger. The same like attached to the car shot,
Right.
where Heath Ledger's getting out of the car.
Yeah.
Even Joaquin Phoenix Joker did that. I'm like Matt,
That's exactly the same.
They didn't create those. They didn't invent those shots. But I'm like, but dang, dude, like this feels. And then there's the other moment which is really badass where Batman's attacking guys and it's like light.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Christian Bale did that in some sequence where he like went down a hallway when it was like, cops
shot
going
at.
after him and stuff.
Yeah.
So I just remember people talking about Batman Year One, and I'm like, Batman Begins was that kind of. Those movies are still
inspired by
like a mixed bag, and they're sometimes comic book and sometimes not.
Yeah.
They're definitely more heat than they are, DC, whatever. But I'm like, I want to see a Jeffrey Wright age into this role to where someday he has his character has a daughter who then becomes Batgirl.
right.
Versus like, well, now we're getting a Batgirl movie.
And is that connected?
But it's J.K. Simmons, maybe. is what we've heard.
We don't know,
and
yeah.
so it's this thing where I'm like, and it really doesn't even have to do with that movie itself, but more the overall plan.
Right.
I can't help but think of this new trailer, watch the new trailer and think of the new movie and go like, man, I wish the Affleck Batman stuff was more solid. Because maybe in a world where that was more solid from the get, Matt Reeves would have done
Ben Affleck
this
Batman.
story, but with Ben Affleck Batman.
Right.
But for that to work, it would have meant that it could not have been a retired, active since the 90s, kills people Batman. But that's what we got with Ben Affleck. So it's this whole, and then you guys talked about the Flash thing, and same sort of thing. Like that trailer looked great.
Yeah.
It looked well shot. I like the director.
Andy Muschietti,
I like the cast. Well, I'm not a huge fan of Ezra Miller. It's weird. But the rest of the cast, bringing back Keaton, same sort of thing. I'm like, it's awesome. But is this really going to be a thing where at the end of this, are they going to Flashpoint
Michael Keaton's the new Batman.
Like, or are they going to Flashpoint and be like, and now that's why Robert Pattinson, because I'm like, no, that doesn't make any sense. You've got J.K. Simmons still in the mix. You've got all this other, greater DC
They just
stuff.
Venom 2'd this situation.
But I hope that's not what Flashpoint is. I hope Flashpoint, I keep calling it Flashpoint. It's just the Flash, but it's effectively a Flash.
It was called Flashpoint at one point.
And I'm glad it's not called that, but it's a riff on that comic storyline. And I feel like people, especially comic book fans, have been like, oh, great, that'll be the explanation for why there's no more Ben Affleck. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
That doesn't make any, like,
just wiping him out of history? Like, what?
Yeah.
Don't even get me started.
Just retconning. So now that we're on this topic, Hector, there was so much stuff that we told people we were going to talk about Fandom in this episode. By the way, it's already been like an hour and 20 minutes, and now we're getting to Fandom. Hector, there was a lot of stuff at Fandom. Can you give us your quick fire reactions to everything that happened at Fandom? I want like 2-second answers each one. Go.
Black Adam looks good.
Yeah.
Looks interesting.
Agreed.
For the Flash, new gold boots for season 8. I wish there was more to get excited about, but okay, we've got gold boots now.
Great.
Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom looks cool.
That was my favorite featurette.
It was, I love all of those folks, but again, same thing of like, okay, where is this greater universe going? Like, are we, it's just, let me just put a pin in that and we'll get back to it. Thank you. Aquaman, King of Atlantis, the animated trilogy show. I want to see it. It looks fun.
Okay.
It looks funny. Milestone Media with a static movie, a Milestone animated film, and the whole programs
more
that
of
they're
that, please.
initiating with even with the omnibus of the old stuff. All for it. More Milestone. I loved it. Batman Wayne Family Adventures, which is like this little anime web comic thing. I'm into it. I think it's cool, especially because they paint Damian Wayne with like a brown skin tone. I'm like, yeah, he's Middle Eastern.
It's true.
Okay.
The video game Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. It looks cool.
Yeah,
it's all right.
I'm into it.
I'm into it. Flula Borg is funny and he should host everything.
Yeah, true.
Yes, he is hilarious.
Borg is great.
You guys know that I love Tiffany Smith. She held it down.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But there's a side of me that's like, if they just hired Flula Borg.
Flula would be so great for the whole show.
To talk about everything.
Thank you, Tiffany.
It would be amazing. Peacemaker looks great.
Yeah.
And I like how they talked about how Peacemaker is an asshole.
Yeah.
Good. He shouldn't be the hero.
No.
I don't want people to idolize him like they did Rorschach. Like he is a dick.
Yeah.
Superman and Lois season 2.
I was bummed to not get a suit reveal. I was hoping for a suit reveal.
But
I love Bitsy Tulloch and Tyler Hecklin. So
love Bitsy Tulloch. Yeah. But to see her and her son, the actor who plays her son, just being like, "Here's our set."
Yeah,
it was
great.
cute. Supergirl season 6, final season. I like Supergirl. It made me.
I like that cast.
Me too. It made me want to go back and watch the whole show.
Yeah.
Stargirl looks interesting. I want to go back. and watch it all.
I've watched a few episodes of season 1, and I started watching season 2, which I shouldn't. I should finish it first.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
It's like adorable.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
The cartoon that's coming out, My Adventures with Superman, looks dope.
Yeah.
Jimmy Olsen's black. Lois, I think, is Asian. And you have Clark, kind of a traditional looking, but like the animation style looks great.
Okay.
Superman comics, they're doing the War World saga.
Yes.
Which I just like that they're mentioning comics.
Yeah.
That's cool. But then also his new motto, truth, justice,
And a better
And a better tomorrow.
Love it.
Okay.
Beauty.
That's the new theme. Yeah.
Beauty.
Yeah.
Also, they advertised a Superman Mashika hat. It looks like I can't afford it, but it looks nice. League of Super Pets, not sold on it. There is room for all different iterations of DC stuff.
Okay.
It's just like when something like Teen Titans Go comes along and I love it, or something like Lego Batman comes along and I love it. That's the standard.
Yeah. Okay.
So the League of Super Pets, even though it's a Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart vehicle, and I think those two guys are very funny. Will this be made by people who love DC like those other things?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Or is it going to feel like Jumanji with pets? And you're like,
Or is it going to feel like
which I love Jumanji, but I don't know if it's the right fit.
or the animated thing that Kevin Hart was also a part of, The Secret Life of Pets by Illumination, which I'm like, it was bad. I watched it and I didn't like it.
Not great.
Doom Patrol season 3 and a season 4 announcement. Good for them. That show's bonkers.
Yeah.
I mostly liked what I've seen. I want to go back and watch the
I
whole
need to
thing.
get caught up.
The Flash movie teaser, like we talked about. Great teaser. I got mixed feelings. Can't wait to see the movie. And the same with the Batman, Matt Reeves. I just want to see the movies.
Right.
Yeah.
The Other History of the DC Universe comic, I want to read it. Looks amazing, and I've heard good things. The Sandman on Netflix, I'm into it, but The Sandman has never been my favorite thing in comics.
I
But
couldn't get into it when I started
I
reading
know
it, but
because it's
Yeah.
it's got a little bit of a
very heady
barrier.
book.
It's got a little bit
I
of a barrier.
started listening to the audiobook, and it's really, really good. So I want to finish it and get the part 2.
Okay.
It's not the most accessible comic, but there's some good shit in there. The Injustice animated film doesn't look great to me. The
I have
style.
it.
You have it.
Yeah.
Let me borrow it when you're done. Like the style of it. I was like,
he's gonna walk out of the house with this.
I was thinking to myself at this point, I'm like, why not hire the video game people to just do a movie that's cutscenes?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? I'm like, why not?
You've already designed everything.
It's too simple, Hector. It's too simple.
I don't know. Blue Beetle film. Was really excited by that panel.
Yeah.
Love the writer, director, and the star.
Yeah.
But the concept art, although it looked really cool, it kind of looked too fakey for me, where I'm like, I can't visualize this real yet.
It's too floaty.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
It's too floaty with the lights and the neon.
Yeah.
Like when we saw concept art a year ago of the Flash for the new Flash movie, and he had his new suit,
Yeah.
and he's like
and Keaton was behind him.
and Keaton was behind him. I could see. I'm like, oh, okay, this is real.
Yeah. I could squint and see it.
I could, but with the Blue Beetle thing, I'm like, this just looks like comic book art.
Yeah.
Neon.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how the suit's gonna work.
Right. And neither do they, because he hasn't even tried it on yet.
Okay, it's scary because it's either gonna be some cool looking Iron Man shit, or it's gonna be
Green Lantern.
Smallville anniversary, 20th anniversary. That's a great show.
Yeah, I'm a little sad. I thought I was going to get the Blu-ray from Warner Brothers, and I emailed them. They were like, unfortunately, we didn't have enough
Excuse me,
units to send you. And I was
Warner
like, why didn't
Brothers.
you tell me before? Because I would have ordered it on Amazon, but now it's out of stock. So I got to wait till the fucking thing comes back into stock before I can order it.
Warner Brothers.
Anyways,
man.
thanks for all the other Blu-rays you've sent me, though.
But they're gonna bring that show. They're doing an animated continuation.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
Tom Welling did a cameo, and he told
Yeah.
that to one person. He told them not to tell anyone.
my
God.
And then that person told the internet.
What a
Sounds
dick.
kind of variety-ish of them.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit. So they're still working out, but it's not official yet.
Monkey Prince is getting a comic. I love the Monkey Prince. I read his first appearance in a DC book that was celebrating Asian superheroes. Really cool character.
Okay.
Gotham Knights video game looks good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a gamer.
Yeah, exactly.
Looks good.
Batwoman season 3 looks cool.
Yeah.
And there's
Okay.
a lot of that actor who was like, I'm Batwing, and here's my Batwing thing.
Yeah,
I'm like, this
Luke
looks
Fox.
cool.
Yeah.
Robin's comic is going digital, and I'm not sold on that yet. It was a winner of a contest.
Okay.
And it beat out a bunch of other, like, they kind of pit concepts against one another, DC, and people were upset because they're like, well, here's this cool, like, idea, and more people are voting for this other thing. Why not just greenlight it all? Anyway, Catwoman Hunted animated movie.
Coming out next year, I think.
Looks cool.
Okay.
A bunch of shit coming out next year. Constantine House of Mystery,
Yeah.
which is a short. Teen Titans Go and DC Superhero Girls Mayhem in the Multiverse crossing over. Love that shit. Green Lantern Beware My Power. Cool. Battle of the Super Sons is going to be their first CG movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesante.
Okay.
And then Batman The Long Halloween Deluxe Edition, where
Yes.
both of them are put into
Right
one.
on.
I'm all for it. Legends of Tomorrow's getting a 100th episode. That show's bonkers as well. I enjoy it. It makes me want to go back and watch the whole thing. A new cartoon show coming out called Bat Wheels.
Yeah.
It's like Cars,
Hell yeah.
but with the Batmobile and
Transformers.
and Robin has a car and everybody has a car. For kids, I'm into it.
Yeah.
Audio podcast, Batman Unburied. Cool.
Is that the
I'm
one
into that.
with
Jeffrey Wright as Batman?
Okay,
I
Jeffrey
think.
Wright's doing
I
Batman.
think.
Okay.
Also, they promote us in Batman Puma shoes.
I should get some.
Okay.
Can't afford it, I don't think.
$8 million.
The Batgirl film with the actress from In the Heights.
Yeah.
Again, I'm excited about it, but I still have these sort of like
Questions.
it's just wild that there's going to be a Batgirl film.
Yeah.
And Batman will probably not appear in it.
No, he will apparently.
Ben
but they
Affleck?
haven't. That's the thing. They haven't said which Batman.
That's the thing. Okay.
He could be from the back, and you'll never know.
Yeah.
It's just like if you're doing that shit, then recast
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And it's.
I don't know.
The,
I don't
the
know.
thing that makes me, I guess, hopeful and excited about it is like, one, it's Batgirl, so that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like who's Gordon, who's Batman. But I actually really like Bad Boys for Life. So I'm excited
same
for those
director?
directors. and they also
Okay.
directed some episodes of Miss Marvel.
Okay.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Titans season 3 wrap up finale, and then I got a season 4 announcement.
Yeah.
I saw the first 2 seasons. Do not like that show.
I've seen 6 episodes of season 3.
And it's better, I've
It's
heard.
way better.
Yep.
But I've
Yep.
heard that the
Good for
finale
them.
is kind of like not great.
That's
so I'm like,
exactly what happened
damn
season
it.
1.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, so-
I know. Harley Quinn animated season 3. I love that show.
Yeah.
It's
I
a good
love
show.
that show.
Yeah.
Batman Caped Crusader.
I am excited about
What
this.
is that? What is that?
That's the Bruce Timm show
Oh,
that he's doing with
yeah.
J.J. Abrams and Matt Reeves.
Oh, Bruce Timm is back.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really,
Okay.
really intrigued
Yeah,
by that.
so
Intrigued by
it's
that.
not connected to the Batman movie, but because of technology and all that stuff, they're now able to go back and kind of do a little bit more of what they didn't get to
that's
do
dope.
in
Yeah,
Batman the
okay.
Animated Series.
Okay.
So.
It is. I think from what I gleaned from that panel, it may or may not be connected to the DC animated universe. Like it may be Batman's sort of first years. Because if you remember, you go back and you watch the show from the 90s.
Yeah.
He was just Batman.
Right.
Yeah.
And there was
Yeah.
some flashback stuff later, and Mask of
right,
the
right.
Phantasm covered some flashback, but
Yeah.
they didn't start from zero.
No, not like Superman the Animated Series.
Right. So maybe that'll be connected. I don't know. There's a mobile RPG game called DC Heroes and Villains. Not into it, but whatever. It's
whatever.
not for me. McFarlane Toys and Statues. I don't love some of that stuff. Not for me, but it looked cool, but
Yeah.
it's not my favorite. Young Justice Phantoms. I like that
I
show.
think the
Young
first
Justice.
2 episodes are out now, right?
I haven't seen them yet, but I like that show. DMZ looks like an interesting show.
Yeah, so I read a lot of the comic book, and I like the concept of the comic book, and
Cool.
it's Ava DuVernay, so I have a lot of faith.
Speaking of Ava, we've got Naomi, which was cool because there's a clip where Superman is in the first, and I'm like, is that Tyler Hoechlin? Does it matter?
They're never going to answer that
They're
question.
never
I'm
gonna,
sure.
whatever. But it's cool. It's cool that Naomi, who's a relatively recent, co-created by
Yeah.
Brian Michael Bendis, young black woman superhero,
In the last like 3 years, 4
dude,
years?
and now she's got a show.
Yeah.
Like dope.
I was really sad when Ava left New Gods, but then when
Me
she
too,
announced she's
man.
doing DMZ and Naomi, I was
Yeah.
like, okay, at least he got it
Yeah.
for something.
Shazam Fury of the Gods looks similar to Aquaman 2.
Yeah.
I'm like into it.
Yeah.
But like Lucy Liu and Helen Mirren as
Mirren.
the villains, I'm like, oh, okay, this isn't to be taken serious. Like I'm like, this
see.
isn't real.
I mean, was the
This is-
first one?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. So
It was a silly goose time. It was
I
good.
actually
Yeah, it was good.
really like Shazam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
That movie was great.
It was
Yeah.
very sweet. And
Yeah.
it was a silly goose time, but that's
Yeah.
okay. So this movie looks like that. Linda Carter, who I will love forever, and
Yeah.
who I found out she's half Mexican. Did you know this?
I did not know that.
Her mother's Mexican.
Oh,
The
the
Mexican,
Mexican
delegation.
has claimed her.
Which button is the clap? There it is, Sid.
Officially a win for the Mexican
Yes.
delegation.
And it makes sense because Linda Carter is one of the most beautiful people ever born.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that she'd be half Mexican.
Of course, because she's half Mexican. Duh.
She accidentally announced Wonder Woman 3.
Yeah.
Apparently.
We already knew that
But
was
we already
happening.
kind of knew that was
Yeah.
happening. So it's like, okay, I didn't love Wonder Woman 2.
Yeah.
What are we doing to address that?
What are we gonna do? How are we gonna
What did
correct
it
the ship
say?
here?
What did it say?
Yeah.
There is a, what did I write? Amazon.
I don't know.
I must have
saw
made a
that on
mistake.
there.
Are you
I'm
making
so
your
sorry.
grocery list?
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I got to go to Amazon.com.
The rest is a list for Trader Joe's.
We have a Wonder Woman comic that's called The Trial of the Amazons. It's
Yeah.
happening next year. I'm
It's their
excited about
80th
it.
anniversary next
I'm
year?
excited about it.
Yeah.
Yes. Then they did a thing for Sweet Tooth Season 2. I saw Sweet Tooth Season 1. It was okay. I liked it.
I saw the first
I'd watch
2 or
season
3
2.
episodes, and I really liked it. I got to finish it.
Pennyworth is getting a Season 3.
And it's going to HBO Max.
Yeah,
Dang.
I saw the first episode of that on a plane, and I did not like it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Would I go back and
Okay.
watch? Here's the deal. Pennyworth is a show where it's like when you hear about that show and you go, so I'm going to run out of superhero content that I'm going to have to watch the show about the butler of my favorite super. Like, no. I have to watch 100 episodes of Legends of Tomorrow before I
Yeah.
can get to Alfred's
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
And then finally, the Batman movie. Great trailer, solid trailer. It looks really great. Everybody in the movie looks great. I can't wait to see more of it. I want to see more of it.
Yeah.
What's the future of that?
What's
Not
next?
everything has
Yeah.
to be a damn franchise, but I'm
Right,
sorry. We're living in a post MCU world. I want to see Batman talk to Plastic Man. When is
Yeah.
that going to happen?
Where it
When
is
is
it?
that going to happen? Give me that. All right. Good job. We should have a quick fire segment every single episode, by the way.
God.
I feel like it's good for just like the current stuff that people want us to talk about. We can just be like, and we're done.
Let's
Moving
talk
on.
more drinking stories, please.
Let's hear about how we vomit.
No, well,
I
actually, we also said we were going to talk about the questions from the Discord
Yes,
too. So I
yes,
think we
yes.
should jump over and
Discord
give our
and patrons.
fans
Let's do it.
the time
Let's do
of
it.
day.
That's
and let's get these questions
So we
out
had
of the
so
way.
we had people from our Patreon submit questions. They're on the hero tier. Thank you guys so much. Our first question comes from Christina Huff.
Oh.
It seems like you guys most of the time agree with each other during your reviews. Are there movies that you don't agree on? I
Interesting.
feel like I have very different opinions about older movies
Yeah.
than you guys. Maybe sometimes, I don't know.
Older movies suck, dude.
Fuck out of this
Black
house.
and white times, homie.
Well, because I remember we watched what movie was it? Was it RoboCop? And you were
maybe.
like, I never need to see this movie again. I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah, you were like, I loved it.
Yeah.
But I think it depends. I think that
Yeah, it depends.
I'm trying to think of something where we have like a real difference of opinion.
I don't know if we
don't-
have.
But I
don't
know that
think we do.
I say we're very like diplomatic. We're never
Yeah.
like, oh, you didn't like this movie, you piece of shit. You know, like we're
I
just
think
not those
that
types
has
of
to
people.
do with how we look at fandoms.
Yeah.
And this could
Yeah.
be a whole nother hour-long
I know.
conversation where like we all love what we love, but we're not killing people for it. We're not
Yeah.
like attacking people for not liking what we love, right? And
Yeah.
I think that has a certain level of maturity to it, and that's fine. I love Lord of the Rings. I love Lord of the Rings more than Marvel. I love more than Star Wars.
Yeah.
I love more than anything. But
And I
I'm
love
never,
that about you.
I'm never going to convince you two of it, and
Yeah.
it's not my job to convince you guys because you guys like what you like. You know,
we
And
need
that's
more
it.
Lord of the Rings in this. Like,
the only job you have as a fan
Right.
is if Adam and I are ever like, oh, Augustine, tell me about this thing from Lord of the Rings.
Right.
And then that's when you go, oh,
Ambassador Rios.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
But
That-
yeah, I
that's
love
it.
the way you
And-
put that. It's not your job
Yeah.
to get everybody to like what you
Right,
like.
exactly.
The same
And
way.
it's once again, it's also not my job to criticize you for what you don't like that
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we work so well together because we never take our fandoms like to that extreme.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about things very diplomatically and like what's one movie that I really, really like that you guys might not like?
American Ninja. No, I'm kidding.
American Ninja, because that one was like
Yeah.
those movies are
Special to you.
garbage. Those movies
Yeah.
are straight
Yeah.
garbage, and I recognize that they're garbage. But I have a level of connection with them from my childhood, which you
Right.
guys will never have because
Yeah.
you're not going to see them as a child.
Yeah.
because you missed that.
no, because I was watching RoboCop and Halloween.
Exactly, exactly that kind of stuff. So like we all have different experiences, and that really feeds into our opinions of movies, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we even if there is something that we don't agree on, we're never gonna go at each other's throats.
Hot damn, baby.
Next question. Knock that one out of the park.
Next question comes from Theo Harris. Gentlemen, what is your opinion on the leak controversy with the Internals premiere and Variety reporters? How do you think Feige and the Marvel brass should handle it, if at all?
Bro, ban that fool from any future screenings and invite us.
That's
three.
right.
And
I was a
that's-
little bitter this morning because I read that. Well, first of all, I read the
Yeah.
spoiler, but
Yeah,
which I'm
that
not going to
sucks.
spoil, obviously.
That sucks.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, man, we've worked on Marvel movies. We've talked about Marvel movies for 7 years now, and never once has anyone been like, "Would you be interested in coming to the premiere of a movie?" And I'm like, get these fucking people out of here.
I got to go because I'm doing the press junket
Yeah.
for.
Look, we are
Eternal.
No one's upset that
we
you
are
went.
nothing. We are nothing but happy for you.
Yeah.
No, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's like we haven't gotten that kind of attention.
Yeah.
with
Right.
our
Well, especially
little,
you because
know.
you've done so much Marvel coverage.
But we
Some
have,
stuff.
through a little birdie, known that people at Marvel watch our stuff. So
yeah,
a little birdie told us that.
I'm not going to at all say how Kevin Feige or whatever should handle this
Yeah.
sort of thing because I honestly think that's not his job.
No,
Right.
And
no.
and he's like
They have people to
you
deal with
know,
that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do know that the person who is in charge of some of these screenings and events and
Yeah.
stuff,
Tweeted about it.
they did, and they were like, "We see you, we see what you're
Yeah.
doing." So I'm sure that person is going to be
Yeah.
blacklisted in some way and not
Yeah.
be invited.
Agreed.
and stuff.
Get him out of
All
there.
I said was just don't post any more spoilers. I'm going to break your knees.
Yep.
Because I don't want to know because we're
That
seeing
is
it on Monday.
That is an
I-
appropriate answer.
I also felt really because you don't know what it is yet.
No.
So
I
that's
missed
great.
it.
So
I missed it
so
completely.
Good.
you know, people were saying like, if you're on Twitter, like mute the hashtag Eternals.
Yeah.
You know, so in case something pops up and you don't see it, because I also, when I saw that, I also felt really lucky. I was like, damn, I just saw this movie.
Right.
If I didn't go to this screening and be in this real privileged position, I also would have had it spoiled for me. And it's like, that sucks, man, because I was there and it was very exciting.
Yeah.
And to then get out of the theater and to just see this person, like, and the other
talking
thing is,
about it.
it's not just the three of us, but a lot of people were saying like, you know, hey man, if this was like a reporter who was like a woman or a person of color, this would not fly.
Railed.
But
railed.
Right? But this guy, whatever he did, if you know, people were like, he must feel real secure in his
Well, the
spot,
tweet's still there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's still there?
It's still there.
Mind blowing.
It's 24
Oh
hours
my
later.
God.
And I mean, when I
Blowing.
opened my timeline and I saw it, I was like, this
Yeah.
has to be fake.
No.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude.
And then
That's
people were
terrible.
like, stay away from this person's account. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
Yeah, man.
I'm just going to stay off Twitter till
Yeah,
Monday,
there you
so.
go. Ronan Unchained.
3
What's up,
weeks.
Ronan? Hey, hello, brothers. Are you guys already planning on stuff you want to do next year in terms of content? For example, cover an event like Star Wars Celebration. Cheers and excited for the podcast.
Sorry, I didn't mean that. I meant that one. Yeah.
It's such a tough question to answer
Yeah.
because we don't really know what's going to be happening next year.
COVID can't let us make plans like that.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
Right,
Comic-Con this year, they're doing like a little mini-con in San Diego
For
the weekend of
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Yeah, and I'm like, I'm going to be
outta
out of town camping.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's really tough because there are things that we want to do. There are things that we
Well,
want to
maybe
expand
maybe that's
doing,
what
but-
Ronan is asking about. It's like, what are some stuff we would like to do?
Yeah.
What's some pie in the skies? I know
Travel.
before the panty, we were
Yeah.
like, we got to go to Brazil. We
Yeah.
got to go. You know, like that's the pie in the skies.
is the pie in the sky.
Just the three of us getting to go to New York.
I've still never been.
Comic-Con.
I haven't been
Yeah.
either.
Dude.
Yeah, we
I
need to
haven't
go.
been.
We need to go.
We had such a good time in Berlin with you.
Yeah.
That we need you to tour us through
I'll be your
New
Rick
York.
Steves.
Well,
I'll be your Rick Steves.
So here's
Steves all day,
something
baby.
that I really have wanted to do, and I
Yeah.
think a lot of our audience knows this.
Yeah.
I would really love to do some sort of like travel show pilot episode
Yeah.
of traveling to like different film locations.
Yeah.
I've seen similar type of concepts, but it's for very, very specific genres.
Yeah.
And I kind of just want to throw the genres out the window and do an episode of like Halloween and the Avengers together.
Right.
Yeah,
Because we're both like experts on that
or
stuff.
truly to do
like
it.
Ninja Turtles and
You know,
Avengers.
we've talked about this before, but you could even do it by location.
Exactly.
Yep.
You know, you go to New York
Guys,
and it's,
we are in the mecca of
That's it.
doing
Yeah,
this.
exactly.
We
We're
could.
in LA.
We should honestly try to do something in LA.
Yeah.
Another one I'd love to do is San Francisco because it's both Planet of the Apes, the new movies,
Yeah.
and Star Trek.
Star Trek, Ant-Man, like there's so
Ant-Man.
much stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
You
yeah.
could do quick little
Shang-Chi.
6-minute. You could shoot season 1. Each episode
Yeah.
is 6 minutes long.
Here
As
in
a
LA.
proof of concept.
here in LA.
Yeah.
Bingo bongo. You're
I would
done.
love to because I remember you went to New
Sell
York
it to
Comic Con.
Netflix. Sell it to Netflix.
When you went like 2 years ago,
Yeah.
you kind of did that in the live
Yeah.
stream with Zach. But I
Yeah.
would love to like actually pilot it out.
Oh, and then I
think it'd be so fun.
originally did it in 2014. That was a great year when the Amazing Spider-Man 2 came out. Is when I originally did it, and
Hector
it
wants
was
to move on to the next question.
it was a beautiful time. It was a beautiful time. Thank you.
Next question.
From Tyler Beckett, when was a moment where you almost gave up on your dream, but you kept moving on anyway?
Bro, I gave up on my dream.
Yeah, we
Being in
all-
Hollywood was my
Yeah.
dream.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
But that's not to say that that's a bad thing. I was
Yeah.
talking to this with Abby the other day. I was
Yeah.
like, look, Abby's a brilliant example of somebody who's going for their dreams and does it 1,000%.
Yeah.
My dream was to work at Nickelodeon and animate cartoons, right?
Yeah.
And Nickelodeon doesn't exist anymore. The animation jobs that I wanted are all moved to Canada, all moved to North Korea, South Korea,
Yeah.
all moved to Japan, right? So like the industry changes and my dreams had to adapt. But I'm hanging out with you guys here, and this is
Exactly.
more fun than what I could have imagined doing in
Yeah.
animation in Hollywood and stuff.
Who
So,
knows where we're going to be in 10 years? you
right?
guys.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
I
so
feel
cool.
like I've jumped around to so many things, but ultimately, like what I really, really want to do and what I really want to get into is I want to do development and I want to do producing. That's what I really want to do.
I know Hector wants to do producing
That's
too.
what I'm talking about. That's what I'm
So
talking
like I like doing the YouTube stuff a lot. There's definitely been times where I'm like, I'm burned out, I'm done, I don't want to
Yeah.
do it again. I mean,
Yeah.
I told these guys when we started this channel, I'm like, this is the last one I'm doing.
Yeah.
After this, if this doesn't go well or
We're
we
done.
get tired of it,
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Ooh,
it's
I agree.
It's tough because I think every few years you change and you evolve and you have new interests.
I agree. I love this next question, Adam. What is it?
From Robert 1964. Will any of the new Star Trek seasons or series be covered by the Trinity in the near future, e.g. Strange New Worlds, and how do you feel about the current state of the Star Trek franchise and the animated live action series in general?
Okay, Hector, sell us.
I
Sell us on these
Fuck,
shows,
man. I think they're all worth watching.
Yeah.
I think Star Trek Discovery has some really good shit in it, but it is still like a normal TV show that has ups and downs. I don't think in my opinion, it might be the best live action Star Trek show, but people who grew up with original series and The Next Generation with Patrick Stewart, that's their favorite. Or Deep Space Nine, that's their favorite. And I'm like, sure, but it's tough to go back and watch those with fresh eyes in 2021 and have them be the same as, some new stuff. The animated show Lower Decks is my favorite Star Trek show
ever.
Period. Bar none. And that show I think is really worth watching. I would be down to do any of those in any kind of we're reacting to season 1 of, Lower Decks or whatever with like a Patreon thing. Cause I don't know how they'd fly on YouTube.
Well, also like
I love them, but
I feel like putting the time to edit a lot of stuff, it also puts a big, damper on things. So hamper damper. But we watched 2 seasons of Titans. I'll give any Star Trek a chance at this point. So
and I think there's also there's entire podcasts built around people who didn't watch Star Trek watching Star Trek. So there's some interesting shit there.
I have 0. I've seen The Wrath of Khan. And that's it.
Why did you see The Wrath of Khan?
You made me watch
Showed it to you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I've seen all the JJ movies.
Because we were working on Star Trek
we were walking into
Darkness.
we were working on Into Darkness.
And because we knew
that
Benedict Cumberbatch's John Harrison was actually Khan before they, even though fans kind of speculated, but like we had confirmation. I remember I must have shown the movie to you guys to be like, we need to watch this so you guys know what this is.
You let me borrow it and you made me watch it.
What was your impression of Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan? And didn't I make you watch Space Seed as well? The old 60s episode?
You made me watch Space Seed. It was good. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was fun. It was an interesting kind of look back at where Star Trek came from and and then to be working on the new current movie and figuring out what was happening there. I think it was really interesting. I think it's a good juxtaposition of both the movies.
So to answer your question, that was from Robert, right? I think it was. I am a huge Trekkie. I love it and I would be down to do anything, but I think that it would be difficult to commit to something if you guys aren't already into it. If it's not
I'm in.
I'll watch Lower Decks.
If we want to do
Lower Decks all day. Like if you want to do Lower Decks, I'll do Lower Decks all day.
And I also wonder too if because Lower Decks is great and I think it's a great entry level because I'm watching it with Abby. Same thing. She's not a Trekkie. But I think Star Trek Discovery, I wonder if some of its value is dependent on you got to know a little bit of anyway that's all that's all part of all fandom right? You can you watch Star Wars episode 7 without
everything else
everything else? It's like kids can
somebody but for adults it's like that's kind of tough,
but
you miss a lot of stuff.
So the answer would be remains to be seen. I'm personally very 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 excited about all the shit they're doing right now. I think it's all great. The curious thing is going to be what's the future of the movies,
where
are they going to go there or whatever. So,
whether we did
tuned.
like a reaction series or a commentary, whatever, I'm totally open to it.
Cool.
PT Jarman asks, have you or would you interview industry guests for a different kind of episode? Love your thoughts and insight and think you'd have great questions for a director, actor, animator, producer, etc. Cheers, PT Jarman.
I mean, we had Hollywood Bobby Kirks on our show already.
That's true.
We're down to interview anybody.
If we didn't do it as an independent video, because sometimes it's really hard to kind of track down and get these people. I think having them as a guest on the podcast, because we shoot at a very specific time, that could be hard. But I'd be totally down to pre-record something and make it either its own video or a part of the podcast. But of course, we'd love to interview people. I mean, this table's built for 3.
That's what I was about to say.
So if we do anybody, they'll very likely be virtual unless we go somewhere to shoot this interview. But
that's one of the limitations. We're actually able to look at each other now with this super cool new
I don't have to be like this and then move back so you two can see each other.
That's been nice.
It leaves it kind of closed off if we ever want to add another person.
This is a boys club.
But you never know if things like our Patreon and all that stuff starts to grow and we can get a bigger space, then we can bring more people.
That'd be fun.
That would be cool.
I burped.
I think we got to wrap it up soon because
beers. Past my bedtime.
Oh boy. Jamie Hanna asked, what subjects would you 3 want to visit if Disney did a Star Wars What If series? Or even a Why Did I Sit series?
Spooky Star Wars.
We do need more spooky. We do need more spooky.
There's that Terrifying Tales that's on Disney
the Lego
Plus right
thing.
now.
I saw that.
Thing.
Yeah.
Apparently it's horror episodes of Star Wars.
Yeah, it is.
So I need to watch that.
I'd like to visit like mutants or superpowered people in like medieval times.
that'd be
or
cool.
like,
Wait, but that's not a Star Wars what if.
Star
Yeah.
Wars what if?
Yeah.
That's a good Marvel what
well,
if.
I mean, I guess they have that. Yeah, sorry, I was thinking Marvel what if. Then my question, I don't know. Keep talking, and I'll tell you something.
There was a really cool piece of fan art that I saw that had Darth Vader, but he didn't have the full suit. He didn't have the helmet, but it was Anakin Skywalker. And then Obi-Wan Kenobi was like a what was Ben Mendelsohn's character? Orson Krennic.
Oh,
what was he
he
like
was
a
bad?
commander or something?
Oh my God! Director Krennic.
But it was like it was Director Kenobi, and then Ahsoka was like an Imperial officer, and I was like, that could be really
So
crazy.
it's like what if Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker,
and Ahsoka were like
didn't
the
fight,
leaders
but,
of the Empire.
but like joined the Empire
Yeah.
under the Emperor.
Yeah.
Like that would be interesting. I think
Interesting.
the biggest what if in the Star Wars franchise is probably what if Anakin didn't go to the dark side.
Yeah.
Because
I think that's the one.
Right? That sets off
Yeah.
a whole so he would raise Luke and Leia with
Yeah.
Padme, like
But
it's
then
just
Luke would go to the
whole-
dark side.
mean,
Snap!
Yeah.
Maybe, dude.
Yeah.
Maybe.
then the father has to convert the son back or whatever.
right.
Yeah, but then would that mean Kylo Ren would be like a good guy?
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Like
Ray-Bad.
they join forces.
Yeah.
yeah, it'd be interesting.
And then
So
Kylo has to kill Luke instead of killing Han.
similar to Marvel's What If, how every one of those stories ultimately kind of came back around to like, you know, themes of heroism and sacrifice and whatever else. Like it would be interesting because Star Wars is so cyclical and it's so like thematic that what you just described is probably right. If Darth stayed good, he was still Anakin Skywalker. Luke and Leia or one of them would probably
They would be the
evil.
twins.
Yeah.
But then Han and Leia would have Kylo Ren, Ben Solo, and then Ben and Rey would go back and redeem or save Uncle Luke.
I think it's difficult for me to think of a what if situation with Star Wars because we've only seen this one story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
Like it's difficult to say.
Closest we've gotten is Star Wars Visions.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
God
why I
damn,
love
that was
Visions so
good.
much
Yeah.
because there's
God damn, that
those
was good.
answer the what ifs in a very particular way. But I just
Yeah.
want to see other Force users, other Jedi. Like, please just stop
The
with
Ninth
Luke
Jedi.
Skywalker, bro.
Yeah.
Just
So good.
stop it with Luke Skywalker already. Like,
Yeah.
I love the guy, but
Yeah.
let's tell something else.
Yeah. Esmond Chong asks, if a fictional character or characters were to start up a podcast, which characters would you most be excited to listen to, and what do you think they talk about?
I'd love an Animaniacs podcast.
Oh, that would be good.
That would be good.
It would just be us.
It would be kind of us.
That'd be really funny.
Who else would be a good podcast?
For me, Freddy Krueger and Ghostface, but
That would be
Ghostface has to
pretty
call
good.
in.
That would be pretty good. And go, what's that?
Yeah, what's up? And it's just Freddy Krueger talking about all these dreams that he's infiltrated.
Yeah.
And then maybe there's a twist at the end where you find out that he's actually in somebody else's mind.
Yeah,
while
that's a
he's
good
doing
idea.
the podcast.
That's a good idea.
I am going to be inspired by what we're surrounded by. I'll say the Ninja Turtles.
That would
I
be
feel
Oh
like
my
I feel
God.
like Mikey and Donnie might start a podcast,
Yeah.
and then get Raph and Leo to be guests on it. But Raph and Leo are also like, "Come on, guys, that's a waste of time."
And they talk about like their underground adventures, but
Yeah.
nobody actually ever sees them.
yeah, or maybe they do a podcast and they put it online, and people are
It's like,
like
a mystery podcast.
people
They
are
don't
like,
say
"Who
they're
are
the
these
Ninja
guys?"
Turtles.
Yeah, but people are like, "Oh,
Yeah.
what a great and silly, outrageous show that
Yeah.
these teenagers
What a
are
fun
putting
fictional
online."
story.
That would be
And
pretty
Donatello's
cool.
like, "We got 1 million hits. People think that the Shredder's not real, but like we fought him last week.
But like
that,
we kicked his ass,
Oh my
bro.
God,
We threw him in
I
a
love this
dumpster.
concept.
That could be cool.
We should
That's a
pilot
pretty good
this.
one. That's a pretty good one.
Let me call my people at Nickelodeon. Hello, Nickelodeon.
How about a SpongeBob podcast where SpongeBob is actually on the show?
Oh, soon.
Whoa.
Soon.
Whoa, buddy.
Soon.
Oh, okay. Soul_KG asks, can we do a Saga Read show to prepare for when it comes back in January 2022?
Saga?
The answer is no.
Listen, y'all, we're having a hard enough time doing the Invincible podcast at this point. So
I think we overcommitted to Invincible. There's like way more.
there's a lot of stuff.
I don't want to do nothing against Saga. I think it's one of the best comic books ever, and one of the best comics I've ever read. But I would rather do a video where it's like the three of us read an Eternals comic, Eternals comic,
Right.
Because the movie's coming out, or the three of us read one Spider-Man comic that maybe is kind of similar to like multiverse shenanigans,
Right.
Or
But who wrote that?
That's it.
Who wrote that question?
That was Soul KG.
Soul KG. If you wanted to go in the Discord and start a group of people who are going to read through it,
true.
and then you guys talk about it in the Discord.
I might do that too.
I'm 1,000% behind that.
The comic's coming back next year, and I'm like, I have all the volumes, but I haven't read them.
Right.
in years.
Yeah.
And I would want to go back and reread. So like, let's do that. Discord's a great place for that community.
Right, exactly. Like if you guys as community members are in the Discord and wanted to host stuff like that, we don't necessarily have to be a part of it, but we'd love to see if you guys, start up that kind of stuff.
You know what would be wild? The reason we did Invincible is because we all watched season 1.
Yeah.
Right.
It would be crazy if Saga was like an animated show. And then it blew up, and then after like the first season of Saga, then I would be like, maybe we could do all of the volumes. Do you know what I'm saying? Like then it would kind of make more sense, I think. Or like I'd rather read volume 1 of Why the Last Man, because that show just came out.
Right.
It was
Already got
canceled.
canceled.
They're trying to figure out.
Already got canceled.
Yeah.
It got canceled.
They got 7 of the 10 episodes, and now they're trying to find a new home for it.
Yeah. So it's rough, but I think I would just rather try to connect it to some media.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as much as we love making content for you guys, we also have to follow trends and have to follow what people are going to watch, basically.
Nobody gives a shit about comics. So,
a little salt in the wound.
There's no
yeah.
Womp, womp, womp. Poor guy. Final question from Rue Ryan. Who do you think would win in a fight between a grilled cheese sandwich and a taco?
I think Hot Rod answered that for us. It was a grilled cheese, but a taco if there's prison rules.
And then Rod Kimmel said, that's accurate, but pretty racist.
It's pretty
That
racist,
is accurate. And that's the answer.
That is the answer. But thank you for the reference.
But the real question is, if you were a hot dog and you were starving, would you eat yourself?
I know I would.
That's the real question. I'd be delicious.
That'd be delicious.
That is it for the questions. Thank you guys so much.
You guys, what a first episode.
I know. We were like, we'll probably go an hour. Hour and 50.
An hour and 50.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
You guys get a
2 hours.
super-sized episode. But
Don't expect them all to be this long,
no,
you guys. Don't expect them all to be
you
this long.
you gotta remember, this is the first time we've been in a room together in almost 2 years, so I feel like we just had so much to
His
talk
word
about.
vomit.
Yeah.
Hey, you got to cut me off because I'm about to get into eternal spoilers. The character who dies is...
He just muted. Hold on.
That'll be our spoiler tone. But
So confusing.
this was a lot of fun. I'm glad we did this. I know a lot of people have been really looking forward to this, and people are asking whether or not it's going to be just audio only or video. And I'm like, nah, man, we're going to do the whole thing.
We got you covered on all the platforms.
All the platforms.
Hector's love language is touch.
That's
That
right.
is my love
And
language.
so he's very excited to be here. We all made out for a half hour before we started.
Lots
the
of
show,
besitos happened. Wow, he's really rubbing my leg. Whoa. Actually, you know what?
Damn.
Never mind.
Pass it on, brother. Pass it on.
Oh,
no.
Your wife's gonna come in here and be like,
Wait a minute. That's not Augustine's leg.
that's the carne asada. You know what I'm
We
saying?
have too much fun with this soundboard, you guys.
Wait a minute. That's
gonna
not
disable all of
Augustine's
them.
leg. It's his penis.
Oh my god, I'm disabling that board for the next podcast.
What is this one again? Oh, yeah.
that would have been.
That was a good
we
one. That
keep
was a good
forgetting about that one. Dang.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
All right. Let's wrap this shit up.
Oh,
And
otherwise
call
we'll never
it a
get out of
night.
here. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to everyone who listened to the
Chexicans
podcast.
podcast.
Chexicans podcast is alive and well. Check us out on YouTube. Subscribe, youtube.com/Heroes Reforged. Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Heroes Reforged. Check out our shirts. And let us know in the comments below what you thought. And if you're on the audio version, come over to the Discord. Let's talk about the show.
And if you want to ask questions, join the Patreon because
Yeah.
we're going to be answering your questions for Patreon only episode.
That's right. Stay tuned for the next part where we're going to be doing only that. And then, if you guys really enjoy the show, maybe we'll think about doing more episodes a month. But until then, we'll see you guys in the next one.
I'm sweaty.
See you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye.